when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
But Ish, what can't be fleeting?
And then you're letting him lead you. It doesn't matter how you feel.
Saying he's led by God, but you feel like God is not telling y'all that. Then you still follow him.
You said something interesting, Ish. You just said like men don't think the way that women do. So it almost sounds like you don't fully trust their expertise. So how could you successfully be led by
So the
women?
majority of men don't have kids. Y'all are picking wrong. Y'all are literally picking the minority.
Every man that's on this panel, y'all have more kids than all of us women?
51% of black men are single and childless.
Excuses for the statistics. The statistics don't bode well in your favor. So you say things like, okay, are they shooting blanks? Or they
because men, I don't feel like men are overall passive aggressive. The majority of men. Do you think that silence is that passive aggressive? Because we will do that.
Yeah, because there's niggas that'll use that as a way to trigger a woman. Like, because a lot of time a woman will tell you, like, when you're silent, it makes me feel like I'm ignored. So a nigga will do that intentionally.
Yeah, no, I'm just, because I didn't agree with the passive aggressive part until Mary said that. I'm like, okay, I can see men and be like, you know what? I ain't saying nothing else. Well, unsubscribing from the Democratic Party help fix Black America?
Let's just unsubscribe. No, you got to know why.
I don't think so.
That's the only thing that get Black people together. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like
Wow.
that.
What I think will fix is if Black people truly understood politics.
Because for a guy, because listen, it's so many different reasons for a man to want to hang out with his friends.
Adrian, I'm not gonna let that slide. I heard you. Why do you think that it's older single women who share that opinion?
Sometimes that's the case. There has to be
Explain what White History Month is.
It's honoring the achievements of the greatest ethnic group in human history.
Wow.
I think all of that shit deserves a put them in the bathroom.
Would you rather have a whore of a daughter or a gay son?
Let's see here.
Bruh.
Because if she's a hoe, that ain't my problem. Hell, she just be a hoe. Shit.
That's a whore. Definitely. Like,
yeah, is going to college a waste of time?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't think for biology.
It's ridiculous.
And can I just piggyback on that?
Read this for me, Q.
Okay, $5 super chat from Omega Green. Depends. Go for STEM, medical or law. However, if you go for BS degrees like communications, is that supposed to be policies or
poli-sci, political science?
Poli-sci, okay. Yeah. Or criminal justice, it's wasted time.
Final thought.
When you take a man's time, it's like taking his money. When you take a man's money, it's like taking his time. Simply put, we want something for it. If you're not interested, don't go out. Sis, hit me up. Let's clear your coochie balance.
Do women, should they still be covered by men? Do women need to understand what it takes for men to feel like they should be covered by men?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, women don't value men anymore, and it's evident.
For women to admit that they're not equal to their men, women have to come to that conclusion that you are not equal to your man. Are you for spanking? Let's go around the room, yes or no. Q, you for spanking?
Absolutely.
Age.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so big kids don't get spankings?
You gotta fight them niggas.
There's no difference between divorced women and single mothers. The man will, in both circumstances, suffer comparably with no benefit to himself. The benefits don't outweigh the cost.
But it's still better to go with someone who hasn't gone through that. It's still better to not choose them.
Have men been getting over on household duties all this time?
Listen, but I don't touch a trash bag to save my life.
So let me ask you, could you and your wife switch roles in what you do versus what for that person hold y'all back or let y'all go?
Physically, can't nobody hold me back.
Ain't no such thing as a fair fight. But Ish, what can't be fleeting?
Direction, choose your own path.
You know, this is the home of We Major, Me Frosty, Unfamous, and the restricted clothing brands. Let's get it.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees. Direction, choose your own path.
message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Perfect.
Yo, we in here. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. You didn't have the same people in the building. Was goody. Good to see y'all. I know it's Thursday. It's an off day, but I missed yesterday night, and this was on my mind, feel me? So I know we had to go through it. Let me see who in the chat real quick, and we get it popping. Mr. Williams, what up? Mel, you already know. My brother D Madison in the building. Salute, E-Dub was popping, kid. Good to see you. Almond Eyes was shaking. Hope all is well. Mr. JTK in the building, of course. Son Kid,
wow,
was popping. Good on the sound. CC, salute to you. Sapase in the building. What up, kid? I just see you in the evening time and all that. GA, Shalom, Aki, was goody. Free Zone, what up, my boy? That's always a blessing. Rebecca was shaking. Hope everything's everything. Ashe in the building. Saw it in the building. Saw it, what up? Good shit on Tuesday, as always. Yo, Judah. Blessings to you too, man. Chrome Yasha Allah. Dre on the grind. What up, my brother? Jero, what up, G? How you? My brother Chris in the building. Salute. Make sure I hit the like button. Reaper was popping. Salute, man. I was traveling all day. I got your messages, but I was ripping and running, man. I had to go up north and right back, man. I was back down south before the sun came up. DC was shaking, my boy. How you, man? Orlando was goody. Hope everything is everything. I never seen this name before. Welcome. Miss Jilly, of course. Make sure I say what's up to Miss Jilly in the chat. My brother Rock Solid. Salute. JC, what's popping?
Perfect.
Thank you for always holding me down, man. The 50 ball is a blessing, especially as the first super chat of the day.
And when I'm feeling broke, E and J by my side, Henny like $40. This shit like 25. I knew that
Let me see. Where was I? Riri was popping. J Fax in the building. No Country for Old Simps. What up? Aaron was popping. Salute. Valerie. My brother Marcus in the building. UFO was popping. Good to see you, man. Salute. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all tell a friend, man. Bartholomew, Shalom, Ak, what's goody? My brother Bravo. Salute. Quincy, what up? Anthony, how you? DJ Smoke in the building. Tay, what up, kid? Jay Wells, what's popping? Hope everything's everything. Wody, what up, my boy? Hope everything's everything for you, man. Salute. My mic's low. Is my mic low? Check. Mr. Awesome, what up? Will, what up, fam? How you? RP Tipsy was goody. Good to see you. Anthony was popping with the $5. Says, what's good? Let's make it through the day. That's a fizzat, bro. JD was goody. My brother CJ, salute. Cali Bev, what up? Like, share, subscribe, man. Make sure you tell a friend, man. Holding it down for the hood. Alexis, good to see you. Corey, what up? I don't like that shit at all, man. That shit was cool for West Virginia for a season and a half, and then they couldn't stop the run for shit, man. Make sure you hit the like button if you can. That helps the channel the most. So we did a couple shows on it, man. There was a bunch of different outlooks on this. I think the ladies overwhelmingly were more gung-ho and in unison regarding the nature of the crime that Karmelo Anthony has been charged with, which is murder one. The ladies seemingly, for the majority, said, yo, if you don't align with him, yeah, the tariffs is crazy. If you don't align with him, you on some coon shit. They giving him the benefit of the doubt. You know, it was said on the thing, I think by Des specifically, like, yo, black men can't never be victims, right? And I think we've heard that, you know, a bunch of times from some different brothers as well, you know, that black men can't never be victims. Well, when you look at this case and you look at the police reports, but more importantly, the penal codes, what do we actually get when it comes to that? So I had a 4-hour layover, which I'll never do again. And so I was able to kind of look at some of this stuff. And I said, okay, I didn't go live Wednesday night, so let's take it to the YouTube streets to see what we can mind out together, man. Samuel, Shalom, Miss Bell's in the building. Salute. Let me ask the chat a question. It's 160 people in here. Yeah, yo, AC, I don't know why I did that shit, man. Okay, so let me ask y'all a candid question. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do a poll, right? Be here for a good time, not a super long time. So let me do like this. If they want to extend the show here, let me see. I need that. Let me put this poll up. Do you guys think Karmelo Anthony is guilty of murder? Put a 1 in the chat for yes, 2 in the chat for no. Or you can just say no. 1. So Sapase said no. So 1. So a 2. Bartholomew said 2. Almanai said 1. Ashe said 2. Almanai said 1. Or excuse me. AC. Oh, asking. Yeah. So either murder 1 or murder 2. Either murder 1 or murder 2. Do you think that the self-defense thing is going to get him out, right? So murder. I'm saying murder. You know. Dre says 2, so no. Rich says 1. Aaron says 1. Riri says 2. Dollar says 2. Aaron, okay, didn't say 1. Saw says 2. CJ says 1. Callie says 2. Aaron, you don't have to say it once. 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, let's look at this, right? Because I think so. When I was looking at the Texas codes, the Texas code for homicide or murder essentially is different than what I've seen. I looked at like Connecticut just as a comparison in most states. So let me show y'all this real quick. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So let me share this and we can walk through this together. Is it this one I want? So this is the one I want, yeah. All right. No, let me. So here is the Penal Code Title 5, Offense Against a Person, Chapter 9, Criminal Homicide. So you have, so in the Texas Code, it doesn't actually break out like the defense or how you would say voluntary manslaughter. So in the other penal codes, when I was looking at them, they have like voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, right? So involuntary manslaughter is down here. So you have capital murder, which doesn't pertain. Capital murder is like you kill like a police officer, something like that, right? And then there's other ones, but that particular code doesn't pertain to what we got here. Let me see if I can find the one that is murder. So let me see. Let me see. Find it because it like breaks it out. So manslaughter's here in section 9. Let me see if I could zoom in, right? So this one, manslaughter here, how they have it broken out is like involuntary manslaughter. How they have this broken out by itself, right? And so that's like somebody's driving drunk and they kill somebody. So it's involuntary, but it's reckless, a reckless death. So a person who's driving a car doesn't go out and they trying to run somebody over, right? Their aim is not to kill someone, but because they're being reckless, they do so. So that's how the manslaughter is broken out in section 19.04 is manslaughter. But what this is talking to is involuntary manslaughter, which is reckless manslaughter, right? Driving a car, hitting somebody, killing them as an example. So when I was looking through this, I'm looking for voluntary manslaughter, right? And they actually have it tucked in under here. So when you read sections 19 and 01, types of criminal homicide. A person commits criminal homicide, and this is Texas, if he intentionally, knowingly, recklessly, or with criminal negligence causes the death of an individual. Criminal homicide is murder, capital murder, manslaughter, or criminally negligent homicide. That's the overarching. So section 1902, murder here. In this section, adequate cause means cause that would commonly produce a degree of anger, rage, resentment, or terror in a person of ordinary temper, sufficient to render the mind incapable of cool reflection. So here's where it's tucked in and what we're seeing that Karmelo committed. So sudden passion means passion directly caused by and arising out of provocation by the individual killed or another acting with the person killed, which passion arises at that time of the offense and is not solely the result of former provocation. Right? So this one here, and it's funny how it's tucked in right here. So if I'm walking down the street, or let's say like with the thing we always use, if I walk in the house and my wife is with another dude and I kill him right then and there, it's sudden passion, right? I'm hot-blooded at that time, right? And I'm provoked by what's happening in front of me. If you're walking down the street and you know, somebody were to punch your wife in the mouth and you beat them up and kill them, right? That's crime of passion, sudden passion, hot-blooded, right? The murder 1 and 2 comes under that cool reflection. So somebody's able to commit the murder, right? Cool-blooded. That means it's a level of premeditated, or they have intent to do so, right? So Callie said in the chat, voluntary manslaughter sounds like it fits, but we have some very incriminating evidence, Callie. Yeah, so reckless doesn't fit, right? It does not fit. And I think the one thing, sudden passion, is what I think is the nail in the proverbial coffin, right? Because we do have some very incriminating evidence. Do y'all remember what was said? Touch me again, see what happens. And we're going to go over the police report. Punch me and see what happens. Does that sound like passion? And that's the unfortunate part. Let me show you guys this. So this one right here, subchapter. So this is Penal Code Title 2, Chapter 9, justification excluding criminal responsibility, right? So this is the self-defense shit right here. So I scroll here. Is that 101? Self-defense. So subchapter C, protection of persons. Self-defense is here. Let me zoom in. Can you guys see it okay? I'm reading it, but I know I'm trying y'all see it. So self-defense is here, right? There is no duty to retreat. That's not one of the things that you have to do to claim self-defense in Texas. Self-defense, except as provided in subsection, a person is justified in using force against another when and to the degree the actor reasonably believes the force is immediately necessary to protect the actor against the other's use or attempted use of unlawful force. The actor's belief that the force was immediately necessary, as described by this subsection, is presumed to be reasonable if the actor knew or had reason to believe that the person against whom the force was used unlawfully and with force entered or was attempting to enter unlawfully and with force the actor's occupied habitation, vehicle, or place of business or employment. B, unlawfully and with force removed or was attempting to remove unlawfully and with force the actor from the actor's habitation, vehicle, or place of business or employment. So does that one apply at all? C, was committing or attempting to commit aggravated kidnapping, murder, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, robbery, or aggravated robbery. Now, here's the one right here. Did not provoke the person against whom the force was used. And so this section right here is tough. And did not provoke the person against whom the force was used. And was not otherwise engaged in criminal activity other than Class C misdemeanors and etc. Right? And so it can't also be if he just talked to him, you wouldn't be justified. But look at this one. This one I think hurts. Did not provoke the person against whom the force was used. Right? So you have to meet particular criteria. Right? The force against you has to warrant the physical response. And you cannot be provoking anybody to use force against you and then use it against them. So this part right here, subchapter C, I'll drop this here so you guys can look it up if you want to. I think gets him into a different realm. And I'm not so sure if the self-defense is going to apply. So this right here. So that's the thing, Ashe, right? It has to be, see the provocation, touch me and see what happens. And here's the unfortunate thing. Putting your hands on is not the deciding factor. Right? Because you're talking about what you responded with. Even though we know, morally speaking, you don't control your repercussions. Him touching him could be a simple battery, but does it warrant this type of response after you already said, put your hands on me and see what happens? See, that's the part. And I just dropped it in there if y'all want to read it. Okay. T, what up? My brother Tay, salute. My brother Tay with a 20 ball. He's a TMBR. Salute to my brother Tay for the first 20 ball of the day. Didn't fit. Now think about this, right? Because look at the murder statutes as well. What did it say in the murder statutes that we looked up? Cool-blooded. Right? Cool-blooded. So remember, the voluntary manslaughter is passion, hot-blooded. And so what it does is says, essentially, a general average person that is of sound mind, would a reasonable person have a similar response, is how you would get a voluntary manslaughter. Right? So any man, any woman, whatever, would a reasonable man have a visceral response to walking in on his wife? And then if he go to fight or shoot or whatever happens, would a reasonable man also have a similar response? If so, then that would be voluntary manslaughter. But if the majority of people wouldn't have a similar response, even under distress, you wouldn't qualify. Right? So the hot-blooded sentiment also has to be a sentiment for the overall public for the most part. You know? So that's the key, you know? So to stand your ground is you don't have a duty to retreat, but you still have to meet other criteria though. And I think that's the part that gets misconstrued. So self-defense in Texas, you don't have to have a duty to retreat, right? But the amount of duress, what is actually happening to you, is it a dire situation? They're gonna ask for all that to be applicable too, for you to qualify for certain defenses, right? So it's tough. It's tough, but here's the part. Remember, in the self-defense statute, what did it say? You cannot provoke the person that you are using the self-defense stance on against. All right? Because you can stand your ground, but if I'm standing my ground, you know, I'm saying, do it. I want you to do it. I wish you would do it. Right? That provocation will eliminate my self-defense argument. Right? And I think that based on what we read in the statute, and I just dropped it in the thing for y'all, that's the part that's tough. So here's the police report that was finally released. Right? Yeah, no, 100%. So we're going to go through the police report about what the witnesses said he said. Right? So let's see. So let's go from the top. Yeah. So yeah, Rainbow Kid, what it is if you provoke the person that you're claiming self-defense against, then based on the Texas statute that we just looked at together, you wouldn't be able to claim self-defense. So now we have to look at potential provocation. So here's the police report. Frisco Police Department, Stony Brook Parkway. Anthony Sincere Karmelo, Frisco, Texas. So they got it's redacted a bit because they're kids for the most part, I think. So he's actually from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's an employee of HEB, and the crazy part is he started that job on 4/2, the same day that he stabbed him up. It's the day that he stabbed the boy. He's charged with murder in the first degree. This don't have his bonds and shit up here yet. This is the police report, but I think his bond was $1 million. So the initial narrative, I'll just read it if I can. At 1001 hours, at Staley School Resource Officer E. Cortez heard over the dispatch call out a stabbing call at David Kuykendall Stadium, 6927 A Stadium Lane, Frisco Collins County, Texas, and that's at Memorial High School. FPD call notes indicate that the athlete was stabbed, so they say athlete here. Now, are they just misconstruing? Because I think we were arguing, was he on the team at all? They do say athlete. That could just be because he's a known athlete. The suspect reported as being a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants. I immediately left my office and ran across the Staley Middle School parking lot towards the south entrance to the stadium. As I entered the stadium, 2 high school age students informed me that the victim was on the north end of the stadium by the bleachers under the Memorial High School tent. I did not identify these students. Next, I proceed towards the north end of the stadium on foot. As I got closer to the north end, I could see the Memorial High School tent with multiple individuals under the tent. Once I arrived, the north side bleachers, an adult male who was on the track pointed out the suspect. I was not able to identify that witness. The individuals that pointed out to me was a black male wearing a gray hoodie, sweater, and a dark colored Nike pants. The suspect at this point was on the track on the north end. There was a chain link fence that separated me from the suspect. I gave the suspect instructions to keep his hands up in the air. During this time, the suspect said verbally out loud, "I was protecting myself." And that's in quotations. It should be noted that I had not questioned him about the incident when he made that comment. So now what that is right there, right, is what you see here is to make sure that the cop is saying that he did not violate Miranda. See? So that right there, I don't know if it matters or not, but the cop saying I did not question him. Right? I didn't question him. So he's saying I didn't read in Miranda, nor did I not protect his Miranda rights. Right? So the cop says that so that they know that his Miranda rights are still intact because he did not question them. He offered that information. I don't know if that's important, but I just wanted to say that out loud. Okay, so let me keep going. Okay. He says, so I asked him if he had any weapons. He said no. I patted him down for weapons while we were walking along the fence, and I did not locate any on his person. I instructed the male to continue walking around along the fence, which he complied, towards an area where there was an opening in the fence that led off the track. While walking him off the track, the suspect said he put his hands on me, quote unquote. I then detained the suspect in handcuffs behind his back to be exact, and had him sit down on the ground. Officer A. Ritchie had arrived on the scene at that time. I conducted another pat down of his person and then searched his person after he gave me consent. Okay. No weapons were located. While the suspect sat on the ground, I advised that I had the alleged suspect. The suspect then responded and said, "I'm not alleged, I did it. I'm not alleged, I did it." Next, Officer Ritchie and I walked the suspect to patrol vehicle 2412. This is Officer Ritchie's patrol vehicle. So this is the second officer that's on the scene, which was on the northeast gate of Kuykendall Stadium. As we were walking the squad car, the suspect was emotional and he said, he put his hands on me. I told him not to. Okay. Now, you see this part. This is contrary to what they said he said, right? Salute to everybody in the chat. I apologize to everybody coming in. I probably missed a few people. I just seen Baby Sneak, Leon, what's up? Truth, what up? Keeps it 100, what up? Now, this is not what they said he said, right? He put his hands on me. I told him not to. Now, here's a contradiction. I did not question the suspect about the incident while he was escorted to the patrol vehicle. Again, he making sure he letting in the police report know he didn't violate any Miranda rights or laws. I searched his person once again, and I had him sit in the back seat area on the driver's side. While the suspect was in the back seat, I noticed fresh blood on his left middle finger. I verbally acknowledged that I saw blood out loud so that it would be captured on my body-worn camera. It should be noted that the suspect asked me, is he going to be okay, while he was in the back seat. So the cop corroborates that and saying he asked about the well-being of the boy he stabbed. I then identified the suspect. He provided his name, date of birth verbally, Karmelo Anthony, black male, with the date of birth. They redacted his date of birth, which I ran through FPD dispatch. Officer Jay Hancock arrived on the scene and remained with me and the suspect at this point. Karmelo was then checked via S-School database for FISD school to also confirm his identity. The identifying information he provided matched the individual I had on custody. Next, I was advised by Sergeant Holland transport the subject to Frisco PD jail. Officer Hancock and I transported him to the FPDD jail. Again, I did not question Karmelo about the incident. All right, let me keep going. It's actually pretty interesting. Upon arriving, so here's supplemental commentary here from the other officers, right? So upon arriving to Frisco jail, Karmelo was escorted into the intake area. FPDD jail staff changed him out of jail into jail attire. I remained with the jail staff the entire time he was changed over. The clothes that Karmelo was wearing was placed in FPDD paper evidence bag. The clothes remained in my possession from this point on. Upon Karmelo being placed in the jail cell, I continued to keep his possessions and of his clothes. I returned to my patrol car. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so he's saying he kept the clothes. He added his body-worn camera to the case. And he had no more information to report. All right, cool. So supplemental, Richie Allison, Officer Richie Allison. This is the second one on scene, right? So this person shows up. I was wearing full sheet. Is this Rich? Is it a guy or girl? I'm not sure. Richie Allison says, this person was wearing a full Frisco police uniform, and I was operationally a full marketed Frisco police vehicle. So they had their vehicle and in full uniform. At about that time, I was dispatched the report of a stabbing at David Kuykendall Stadium. Frisco police dispatch advised that the athlete had been stabbed. The suspect was described as a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, so they got the same descriptions from the call. When I arrived on scene, I was approached to track and field officer Cortez kneeling next to a black male wearing a gray hoodie, sweatshirt, and sweatpants. The male, later identified as Karmelo Anthony, was handcuffed and seated on the sidewalk by the entrance of the track. As I approached Officer Cortez stated Anthony was the alleged suspect. Anthony then made a spontaneous statement and stated, "I am not alleged, I did it." So now that statement seemingly is confirmed, right? Officer Cortez conducted a PAT search of Anthony's person to ensure Anthony did not have any weapons found nothing evidentiary value. Officer Cortez and I then walked Anthony to the pre-search patrol vehicle, and Anthony was seated in the rear driver's side compartment of my patrol vehicle. While walking to my patrol vehicle, Anthony made another spontaneous statement and asked if what happened could be considered self-defense. So now the other officer didn't mention this part. The other officer did not mention this part here, that he asked, could it be self-defense, right? The other officer didn't say that in his report. I replied by telling Anthony I did not know what happened. It should be noted in the in-car camera, the patrol vehicle was activated prior to Anthony being placed in my patrol vehicle. While Officer Cortez assisted Anthony into my patrol vehicle, I noticed Anthony had blood on his left middle finger. I grabbed my department-issued digital camera and took a photograph of Anthony's hand. I later uploaded the photograph to the crime scene folder under the case number. And then Cortez took them. Okay, so we have now... So now we have arrest report, Frisco. So this is the same date, Officer Otis Will. So same time, same date, he gets the call, right? So he's saying Frisco Police Department receiving an emergency call. An athlete was stabbed. Originally unknown assailant, black male wearing gray hoodie, blue sweatpants, and had a goatee and short hair. The subject was possibly wearing Centennial High School attire. Now we did know, and we confirmed on Monday and Tuesday that that he went to Centennial High School. him being Carmelo Anthony. As it believed he was a student of the he was there for the sporting event. This had all taken place on the visitor side of the stadium, the north side, and the victim was under the Memorial High School memorial tent in the bleachers. At around this time, school resource officer Cortez arrived on scene and began assisting the victim, trainers, and other parties. Officer Cortez also advised on the radio that he also had the suspect. Sergeant Otis was working 50 sectors as a sergeant. He was on full Frisco Police Department uniform and distinct patches and badges and police duty belt. He was also in a marked police car, so they're just saying how they showed up. He was relatively close to the call and placed himself in it around 1,002 hours and responded to the call with his patrol vehicle, overhead emergency lights and sirens activated. He arrived around 1,006 hours. Sergeant Otis arrived at the stadium and began walking up to the location. Around this time, Officer Cortez and Officer Ritchie were walking the black male subject away from the stadium. The suspect was crying hysterically. Okay. Now, that's another piece of information that's not in the other two reports, right? So that I think that's important, right? Essentially. So in this Officer Otis, who's the sergeant, he mentioned that he was crying hysterically. Please see other involved officer narratives for their involvement. Sergeant Otis walked up to the visitors' bleachers and observed the victim being treated by Frisco Fire Department personnel and also athletic trainers. The weather began to turn and began to heavily downpour at this time. Some of the FSID staff moved the memorial tent to cover the victim and the FFD personnel. Sergeant Otis began using his city-issued phone to snap crime scene photos to preserve as much of the scene as possible due to weather and the large gathering of people that were involved in the incident. The officers began to set up a crime scene with tape moving non-essential personnel out of the immediate area. The officers on scene were informed that the knife was tossed and was still believed to be somewhere close. Eventually, one of the witnesses, they said they remember seeing it on the bleachers still. Officer Shiles was able to locate the knife, so they found it on scene. It was located between rows 9s and 10s near seat 30, closest to the aisle and partially open. The rain began to come down heavily, and they determined that instead of moving the knife, the officers would cover it up with the blue tarp. So you saw the blue tarp in the photos, and so the knife is apparently under that tarp. Sergeant Otis assisted in preserving the immediate crime scene as much as possible, while the other personnel attended to the victim and eventually transported him. At around this time, Officer Wetzel had the crime scene log and began logging the individuals to call to the best of his abilities. Lieutenant Crawford and Pemberton relieved Sergeant Otis of the scene. Sergeant Otis went back to the police department to download his body cam and the photos he took his city issue phone. Sergeant Otis' city issue phone had 33 photos. Okay, so he didn't do too much. Now this is Officer Wetzel Taylor. Same arrival. The original call notes an athlete had been stabbed to the chest and the suspect had stabbed him. Goes to Centennial High School. Athletic trainers were on site providing care to the victim and advised he was not conscious and not breathing. So based on where he got stabbed, he essentially bled out pretty quickly. The notes also indicated that the suspect was a black male, goatee, short hair, Centennial gear. Arrived at the scene approximately 1,006 hours, right? When arrived, I grabbed the roll of crime scene tape from my trunk and proceeded to the visitors' bleachers, where dispatch advised the victim was. While I was walking towards the visitors' bleachers, I was approached by a witness who identified himself as, and since they're minors, they redacted essentially, right? So this person began telling Officer Wetzel what happened. I asked him where the stabbing occurred. I advised it happened under the Memorial High School pop-up tent in the visitors' bleachers. I immediately informed Sergeant Otis where the witness stated the stabbing occurred and gave him the crime scene tape, started securing the crime scene. I then had the witness unnamed, move to the walkway under the visitors' bleachers out visitors' bleachers out of the rain to further speak with me. The following is a summary of my contact with said individual. Advised he was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent and was near the victim. Okay, so this witness here is actually under the tent or near the tent, near Austin, the one that got stabbed, near the victim Austin and the suspect. So he was near both of them. who was later identified as Karmelo Anthony. So it doesn't seem like he knows Karmelo in this instance, because it seems like the victim was named. Anthony was from Centennial High School and was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens." He grabbed his bag, opened it. Now, this is alleged, right? Because this is a witness, but this witness seems to be under the tent. Grabs his bag, opens it. That sounds like premeditation, unfortunately. Touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony. So they doubted he had a weapon, right? And so essentially where they are, they don't have these type of problems, right? We looked up Frisco. They don't have any crime. It was considered the safest city, like, I don't know if it was in Texas or in the country or something, 2 years in a row, right? So, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony had any weapons in his bag. Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. Now, here's one thing I noticed about the report here. It did be it true. The touch me and see what happens is in quotations. Punch him and see what happens is not. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and then Anthony pulled out what the person recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another memorial track number was friends with Anthony and he could identify Anthony. Okay, so now here's the thing, right? So it seems like he was sitting there and it was okay for him to sit there because he had a friend under that tent. So they had the track meet. They all from the same city, right? He has access to the tent. I guess his friend is sitting there, so he goes to sit there when the rain starts coming, but he's being removed by Austin. They keep saying Austin's an athlete. So was he actually on the track team? Because I know that was a point of contention as well. Right, so stabbed onto once in the chest, and he asked to get help, and then this person, name start with an E, was friends with Anthony and could help identify Anthony. Described Anthony as a black male, skinny with possibly a goatee, short puffy hair, and wearing Centennial school clothing. This concluded my contact with that witness. I then instructed to start a crime scene log. I retrieved crime scene log from my patrol vehicle and began starting the crime scene log. I was ready to relieved by Officer Showers. Okay, let me see. So, now somebody has said something in the chat saying words aren't provocation. I don't know about that. I want to see if there's Officer Fisher Allen. Let me see. Okay, so he's with a few witnesses. So Officer Fisher Alvin here. When I arrived at the crime scene, I was already marked off and the suspect was in custody, so he gets there later. I began asking people if they were witnesses to anything. I made contact with Hunter, which is the brother of the boy who got stabbed, and then EP, so the same witness. They were both breathing heavily and crying due to the nature of events. They were with coaches on the field and it was pouring down rain. We made the decision to relocate to a locker room just to the east to get out the rain. Once they were there, they calmed a bit. However, they were still hysterical and could not really talk in there. I learned Hunter was the brother of the victim. I attempted to ask them both what happened. I could not really get anything from Hunter, but the same witness that the other police officer talked to stated he wanted to speak. I asked him what happened, and he stated they were all sitting on the bleachers under Memorial High School tent, with another male he did not know walked over and sat under the tent. Then said Austin, the victim, told the male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth. Okay, so now he reveals something a little bit different. They had a back and forth. So they had words exchanged. Then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. So what was he saying? Had said during the time of arguing, the male was reaching around in his bag he had. It was at that time the male took out the knife and stabbed Austin and left the scene. This was all remembered when he talked to me. After this, I then stood by with 3 athletes witnessed until CID interviewed them. I was then relieved. Okay. So that one. Now, here's the thing. So look at the initials, right? I'm just looking at the initials. EP, right? You got Hunter, with the boy's last name, right? The brother, and then EP. So this is the same witness, but now EP is up here. Track member EP was friends with Anthony. Okay. So I need to correct it. EP knows him. Okay. So EP is the one that actually knows Anthony. So his take is more so, hey, they had a back and forth. He reached around his bag, got the knife. This other witness has the quotable here and then paraphrases to punch him and see what happens. Okay. I'm telling you. Let me see. Okay, so he's just looking at the stuff that they're finding here on the scene. So I just got back from traveling. I got this big ass bag in the background. Yeah. So yeah, so it looks to be, from what we gathered, 2 witnesses, the brother, and then so EP is the second witness, and he actually knows who. Yeah, so EP was the one I read, Truth. He was the second one that I read that said they had a back and forth. That Anthony reached around in his bag. Austin went to grab him and he stabbed him. Yeah, so EP's the one that knows him. He's also the one that was brought inside out of the rain with the brother to give the story. So it seems like EP said he can come sit under the tent. But the first witness has the quotes. If those quotes are accurate, I think that where we run into an issue. Now, somebody said in the chat that you cannot words are not provocation in Texas. I didn't see that. So let me see. Let me show y'all this. Yeah, nobody said it was filmed, interestingly enough. So in Texas, words alone generally do not constitute sufficient provocation to justify the use of force, even in self-defense. For a use of force to be justified, there must be reasonable belief that the force is immediately necessary to protect against another's use or attempted use of unlawful force. Verbal insults or threats alone are not enough to trigger this belief unless accompanied by threatening actions. So I think that's the part right there, right? I think that's the part right there. The actions that followed it, right? The actions that follow it is what get them caught up. Yeah. So the words that led to the actions I think get them caught up right there, man. Okay, I guess they just didn't release him yet then, right? Because you would assume DMD, they've got to be 1 million videos. So on his face, you're correct, but then the actions that follow it, I think, end up nullifying that argument. And if there are words of provocation, it's gonna be tough, man. It really is gonna be tough. So what do you guys think about what we just went through? I hope we did a decent job. And remember, when you look at the codes, right? This one here, I think, makes it tough. And so what is also going to happen is the one where it says you can't provoke the person. I think another thing that's going to happen is this. When we're looking at this is all after guilt, right? So what that means is, boom, he gets charged with the murder. So now when you're looking at the different statutes, what makes it voluntary manslaughter, all that is assessed after you found guilty, right? So you got the murder 1, murder 2, you got the manslaughter charges. They're going to say you are guilty of this murder. What are we going to charge you with? And then what's going to be your punishment? So voluntary manslaughter can carry a penalty from 2 to 20 years. Right? So that's the other thing. When we're looking at if he's going to get manslaughter, we also have to understand that the only way that even gets enacted if we know he's guilty of the crime. So what that would do is, if he gets manslaughter, he's guilty of killing the boy. So the self-defense is thrown out. It's not self-defense, it's a murder. And now we're just trying to assess, but to what degree? Now, remember the manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter, when we looked at the statute, said what? It had to be passion, hot-blooded. Would most people respond like that? And if everybody's in the chat saying most people aren't responding like that, then it's probably not going to be manslaughter, right? It's probably going to be a murder too. Because remember the manslaughter statute. And let me make sure we bring it up again. In order to claim manslaughter, right, is here. They don't have voluntary manslaughter in the Texas penal codes. They have this sudden passion, right? Sudden passion means passion directly caused by the arising of a provocation by the individual killed or another acting with the person killed, which passion arises at that time of the offense and is not solely the result of former provocation. All right. So now look at that. They had a back and forth. Right. See, and that's when you start reading it, the black and white will start to say, on its face, you think of manslaughter, but I don't know if it actually, they might be able to reach the burden of proof for murder. Right. So that's the thing, man. Does he qualify for this sudden passion, which is voluntary manslaughter? I'm telling you, that shit's crazy, man. So when we're looking at the statutes, thank you, Rich, we have to really assess it, right? Now, Mr. Fantastic, I catch your drift, right? Yeah, so the knife itself, he hasn't been charged with the knife, so it seemed like the knife was acceptable, or it wasn't illegal, right? But see, Mr. Fantastic, that may be true, right? But when we look at the statutes, it doesn't actually qualify, right? It doesn't actually, based on what it says to voluntary manslaughter, it doesn't actually qualify. And this was throwing me off at first because I was looking in Texas and it doesn't have straight voluntary manslaughter section. it has a sudden passion section would be voluntary manslaughter. It does have a manslaughter section down below, but it's for involuntary manslaughters, right? Reckless manslaughter. So killing somebody while driving a car while drunk. I think based on what we witnessing, if he was cool-blooded, right? He wasn't overt or over the top or under duress. Based on the statutes, murder 2 probably seems more imminent, or even murder 1. That's the crazy part. Because if he grab his bag, opens it, says these things, provokes tries to incite it, murder 1 might actually be the applicable charge on his face based on the statutes and the sections. What you think?
Oh, what up, bro? What's going on?
Goody.
Can't complain. Yeah, man. I don't think they're going to charge him with murder. And I think if you and appreciate you, bro, for breaking this down from the legal aspect. They always charge the highest charge possible, right? And then, come down, right?
Yeah.
So murder, I don't think he's going to get charged with murder. I think he is going to get a manslaughter charge for sure.
Well, he's charged with murder already.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that's not going to stick. Like I said, that's not what he's going to be convicted of. He won't be convicted of murder. I'm sorry, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he'll be convicted of murder.
So yeah, I think because when we hear manslaughter, we looking at the kids and all that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the manslaughter statute, particularly in Texas, they have a manslaughter statute for involuntary manslaughter, hitting somebody with a car while I'm drunk.
Okay.
For manslaughter voluntary, because that's the one that we usually be thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be like in the heat of a moment. And is this a heated up moment? You see what I'm saying? Like it's odd. Like in terms of qualifying. Now they may plea him out, but if he went to trial, what would it be? You see?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that this definitely qualifies for a heat of the moment situation. Very, very short, quick.
Okay.
Interaction between two kids, right? The problem where he's not going to beat the charge is, like you said, he knew he had the weapon, and I don't know if you read the part of the statute, right? Even in self-defense or whatever, equal proportional force is going to be the issue, right? So even though, like you said, don't have to retreat in Texas. If somebody punch you in the face, you can, get them up out of there. But that's what I'm trying to tell people. This is a jury. No matter what the fucking what's the name say, you got to understand, bro. This is one kid that unalived another kid in a group of kids at a school function.
Yeah.
And all the evidence that's there is saying that, hey man, you killed this kid. So a lot of people asking questions about, do you have the right to protect yourself? Yeah, you got the right to protect yourself. But again, man, like you said, there are people that think they have a self-defense case, bro. Most of these self-defense cases don't get won, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. People are not winning self-defense cases. Even stand your ground laws, people are losing. There are far more lost stand your ground cases than won, bro. So, and like I said, if you take everything out of it, just it is what it is, man. It's just not matching up good for him to, get off, quote unquote, or be found not guilty. I won't say get off, but I'll say, found not guilty.
Yeah. And this one, I don't know if you was here when I was reading this one, but this one right here jumped out. You probably can't see it, but this
did not provoke the person against whom force was used. Okay. It was not otherwise engaged in criminal activity. So I see missing. Okay.
But this one was the killer, right?
Yeah.
Did not provoke. And again, remember it said, words aren't provocation in themselves unless your actions follow like you wanted something to happen.
Exactly.
And based on the follow-up action, this is what it is.
Yeah, you're egging it on. You're inviting somebody to a confrontation because you have more than equal force to apply. Yeah, exactly. And it like I said, if it results in someone's demise, man, that's going to be a big issue. So people really gotta, I think too many people are putting too much racial equity in this, bro. For real. And bro, this Carmelo Anthony doesn't represent or you know, all of the atrocities and shit that's been done against black people, bro. Take that shit out of it. Put yourself in the shoes of parents, okay? If this was your child, would you want to know that your child was unalived over a fight? If you have children that are like in school, okay, you know how children do. All right, my kid just got into an altercation last week, physical altercation. I teach my kids, of course, never, you know what I'm saying, start anything, but finish it. So now my son is unalive because, you know, he defended himself or he got the best of somebody, and I'm supposed to be like, oh well, should have kept his hand to himself. Come on, bro, y'all not being honest, bro. Nobody wants that. All right, and I'm not saying that the kid did put his hands on him, but again, bro, does putting your hands on somebody, you know what I mean, equal? You can just get them up out of there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been hearing that. You've been saying it. I teach. Yeah.
I ask you a better question, Ham. Could you even consider, like, just think about this, right? And, you know, we all came from the hood or whatever. When a child died, everybody was taken aback, right?
Yeah.
Kid, anybody under the age of 18, like, oh man, that's messed up. You know, it's usually, you know, it's always story on the news. That's something that's going to get covered when a child loses his life, right? And, you know, we've been in school and shit where shit pop off. You know, everything from, you know, single fist fights to people getting jumped or whatever. Bro, nobody rushes into that, man, thinking, and you say it all the time, Ham, bro, you get that boost of testosterone, bro, you think you're invincible. Nigga, you think you're immortal. You ain't thinking about dying. You feel me? You're doing all kinds of wild shit. Fighting is a part of that. So nobody goes into a fight, man, a fist fight, thinking that, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to come out of it alive. So, like I said, we apply that actual situation between is two teenagers. One, you know, hey, getting physical, which he shouldn't have got physical. Nobody is saying nobody is saying that black men shouldn't be able to protect themselves or black kids shouldn't be able to protect themselves. But still, bro, that don't mean you protect yourself at the ultimate degree and get somebody up out of here and think you just gonna be able to walk away. You have to face the possible consequences of it, and that's a coin flip, man, that most people don't win.
Yeah. So I guess what I would ask, right, is what is the, so if this is a girl, she uses a knife, we accept it.
If it's a girl against a boy, it's more accepting, Hamp, but even still, then I would say there'd be a whole lot of damn, shawty, you had to kill him for real. And you know what's even crazy that we didn't mention, Hamp? You know what's crazy? We'll get on the boys' ass that's around to be like, yo, why y'all let him, you feel me? Because had y'all stepped up and stopped him from getting on her, he'll still be alive. You feel me? So even in that case, my bad, go ahead.
Well, I understand it. I think that we would expect people to intervene, right? Like he going to grab her and shit like that. But so I guess, like, when is the see, I'm more so looking at the provocation aspect. If he really set up his bag, like, come on, like that part fucks us up, fucks him up in terms of him trying to claim self-defense.
Yeah, you talk like you already got your hand in the bag, right? And for what y'all saying, I'm telling you, like, if it's not a school like that and everybody used to handling shit with hands, the kids even said it. I think verbatim, not verbatim, but testimony, right? Or witness testimony. Nobody thought he had anything in the bag. That was said in the police report, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the kids even said that. Nobody's thinking about, like, you just in your bag, like, whatever. You could be getting your phone, you could be getting whatever, but not something that's going to unalive another person. So even that in itself shows you the level of, like, you know, kids just not even thinking in that realm, at least not from where he's from. If you from, you know what I mean, you from the hood, hey, nigga reaching that bag, you already know what time it is. But as everybody say, you can't use the both. You can't play it both ways now. Karmelo wasn't no gangster. He wasn't hood. He wasn't whatever. Said he still lived in a fairly, good neighborhood or good community. So everybody's on that type of time. If we gonna fight, we gonna fight. Ain't nobody thinking about guns and knives.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, so it's just, I guess the part that's difficult, because now we have to assess his intent, we have to assess his fear level, and etc. Now, when I look at what Austin did, it just sounds like, not just, I didn't mean to say just, but it sounds like simple battery, right? Mm-hmm. To touch him and then grab him. Now, in one of the statutes for the self-defense, it does say someone trying to, so unlawfully with force entered or was attempted to enter unlawfully into actor's self. No, this one. Unlawfully and with force remove or was attempting to remove unlawfully and with force the actor from the actor's habitation, vehicle, place of business, or employment. So him trying to forcibly remove him, that could be a case for self-defense, but then the provocation is what starts to blur it. And I don't know, like, what's forcibly removed. Can you stab somebody? I mean, it's so much that go into it. But what would you tell Austin daddy about his son's conduct?
I think his dad admitted to it. His dad has been real, like, reasonable. He hadn't said anything negative about even the part. He said, hey, everyone should just keep their hands to themselves or whatnot, what have you. And, things shouldn't happen like this. You feel me? But I think where he gets the thing is, if you're actively, I grab you, right? And I don't let you go. And then I'm trying to Debo or Uncle Phil you up out of somewhere. It's totally different from I push you, right? There's a moment of separation. Then I say, hey, grab me or whatever, so on and so forth, and I got a weapon. I think, like you said yourself, I think that's where he loses it, because he's warning, he's verbally, I'm not saying he's provoking him, but he's giving a verbal warning of him having a weapon to where he, and that he can reply for with force. And the second touch never happened. You see what I'm saying? So it was constant thing, and it's a struggle to where he never lets go of him. You grabbing the thing and getting the knife. Hey, I'm on Karmelo's side at that point. Hey, you tussling, you won't let me go. I can't get loose, so on and so forth, you get poked. Everything's in a moment of so I get you. But everyone clearly says, and it's even like you said, the kid that actually knew him gave the same testimony. People out here lying, bro. Y'all gotta stop lying and making up shit, bro. For real. That's another thing that's not making this good, bro, on any side. But I'm not gonna get too far in that. But the fact that there was a clear moment of separation between the two, and then the unaliving happened, I think that's where, after the warning, I think that's where, because he didn't let him touch him the second time. You feel me? And it could be assumed.
So now FP, the initials FP. So the threat came, if you characterize it as a threat, touch me and see what happens. Yes, that came before he touched him. EP, who knows both boys, said they had a little bit of a back and forth. And then EP says, he doesn't say what Karmelo said. He said they had a back and forth, and then Austin grabbed him, and that's when Karmelo stabbed him. So EP, who knows them, kind of gives a like a surface level kind of, they were arguing, right? Austin grabbed him, and then he stabbed him. So that's what EP said. So now EP leaves more to the imagination. The first witness said, touch me, see what happens. Punch me and see what happens. Now, one thing to note, the touch me and see what happens was in quotations. The punch me and see what happens was paraphrased. So we just looking at that in a way. Now, does size matter? Pause. In this implication.
I don't know. Like I said, that's something. So legally, no, of course, right? Legally, no, right? But from a jury deciding, possibly, right? Is the disparity going to be that they're both football players, my understanding? They're both on the track team. They're both athletes, correct? So unless Austin was like, I would say 6'10", 300 pounds on some Shaq shit, no one's going to see enough of a disparity for it to be, you know what I mean? I don't think you're going to convince a jury that, oh, he was so menacing and he was just this, Brock Lesnar motherfucking person, to where he was that scared, right? Because,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? I guess that it's murky, That's why I think it's more genuine when we just look at what the penal code say. And then where do you qualify? Where can they meet the criteria, So provoking with the words that were alleged and then stabbing them, you don't get self-defense. But somebody trying to remove you from where you are, you can defend yourself, right? Now, it does state about reasonably believes the force is immediately necessary.
Exactly.
But here's when I read that, it's not saying, so let me just bring it up. Tommy, what up? So it's not, so here, I'm gonna read this. Subchapter, protection of a person's self-defense. Except as provided in subsection, a person is justified in using force against another when and to the degree the actor reasonably believes the force is immediately necessary to protect the actors against the other's use or attempted use of unlawful force. The actor belief that the force is immediately necessary to be as described by the subsection is presumed to be reasonable if the actor. So here's the thing. It doesn't actually say what level of force you can go to. It just says, is it believed that force is necessary? But it doesn't say you can't shoot, you can't stab, you can't elbow. It says the reasonable understanding that you need to use force on it in itself. You see that?
You got to
remember, it ain't saying how far I can go. It's just saying when can you go.
You got to remember too. This is Texas,
Good morning.
where they openly and proudly tell you that if you're on my, I said what's up. You mustn't hear me.
My bad, it's me.
But they openly and will proudly tell you that if I tell you to get off my property and you don't, you're out of here. I don't have to be no threat. I don't have to come at you. None of that. If I tell you to get off my property and you don't, that means for me to get you up out of here. That's the state that this happened in. And if anybody has lived there, they would tell you that. So, and then even with the, if I'm not mistaken, dude was 6'4", 200, correct?
No, he wasn't 6'4", bro. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's making up all these extra things. If anything, I think the tallest height I've actually heard is like 6'1", 6'2", and like Hamp said, on one, right? Yeah, maybe 200 pounds. Yeah.
Okay, but my point with saying that is, he's literally larger than most of the people in this audience. Like, if we go percentage wise, he's taller than most, and weight wise. And then you got a guy that's 130 who is literally smaller than most of the people in our audience. But where I get frustrated is when that's flipped, nobody has no problem with that. When Trayvon Martin is outweighed by 100 pounds, people still understand how this guy was fighting for his life because he was getting his ass whipped by somebody that weighed 100 pounds less than him. So,
well, shout out to Tommy, man. What's up, bro? Two things, man. Two things. Like I said, so we got to stay within the same legal parameters and the what's name, right? So castle doctrine and your property is totally different from non-property, right? So like you said, in Texas, yeah, on a person's property, you don't leave, so on and so forth. The ability of you to unalive someone is much higher, right? You have much more standing. Everybody remembers the story of the stepdad that killed the real dad like a year ago or 2 years ago. Was that 2023? He killed him like in broad daylight, right in front of everything, right? And he didn't even get charged, I think, because he was on his property. So can't mix the thing, right? What we're saying here, and to the other part, again, man, you can't bring other situations into this situation, all right? But these are kids. yes, Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman was a grown man and a child, right? Unfortunately, the child lost out in the situation. But then, Tommy, it's the other way around it. I promise you, no matter how big I am, if motherfucking Demetrius Johnson and me get in a fight, I'm getting whooped. Okay? You know what I mean? It's people that are smaller than me that gonna be able to whoop my ass. Okay? So
it's very rare. Like, it's very rare you're gonna find somebody that's 100 pounds under you that's gonna be able to handle you.
Yeah, I understand it, but what I'm saying is, too, right? You're still gonna be seen as two grown men. Like me and Hamp, I'm taller than Hamp, but we weigh somewhere close to the same, right? And if Hamp got me up out of here, Hamp not gonna be able to say, "Oh man, he's so much bigger." He's like, "Okay, brother."
That's a height. But we talk
for a woman. But I'm saying for a woman to a man, the strength and what's the name thing is giving more credence. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's what I'm saying. Just look at if you're a juror, right, and you're trying to convince a jury, it's going to be difficult to convince a jury that a child that's a peer of another child, and they're both athletes, right, and you know all these different things and so on and so forth, was just so terrified when you're a football player. So, okay, you can't claim the size thing if you play football. And my understanding is Karmelo played football, correct?
Yeah, but
so like, if you're so that kind of nullifies the whole size different things. You play against people that's why are you looking confused?
That doesn't nullify anything. What you're saying doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The force is unequal. I don't care if you're twins. One still can do something that the other twin can't do.
So good morning. What did I say that didn't make sense?
Good morning. So size does play into a factor of the level of threat. If you are being bullied, if a nerd is being bullied by a bully, he does not have enough force or width or options to either take on that bully physically, right? He has to have some kind of advantage. He has to either carry a weapon or use something as a weapon to leverage the strength that the bully has.
Okay, so I'm going to say it to you again. And I need you to now, because you're personally attacking my intellect. I need you to.
I'm just explaining the dynamics of
you said what I said. That makes absolutely no sense.
It doesn't nullify.
So I'm gonna. I never said nullify.
You just said nullify.
So maybe you misunderstood what I said, or maybe I did say it. So I'm gonna make it clear. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. You cannot use the "I'm afraid of a guy because he's bigger than me" if you're involved in a sport. Okay. Where you ask for what? I'm 12, 14.
So what you're saying is that a quarterback and a lineman are of equal, even though they're both playing the same. Hang on. Hold up. I just heard what you said. Heard what you said.
You're not comprehending. So what I tell you, you're not going to be
playing the same sport. You said they were playing the same sport.
Okay,
right?
So you're purposely being obtuse, or you're missing what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
It's not going to be. I'm saying that it's not going to be substantial defense. Okay, when you for sports deal with people that are bigger than you. Okay, you willingly have to go. You say you willingly have to go up against people that are fairly larger than you for sport. So that means you're used to physical contact of people that are stronger than you, that are bigger than you. So you can't say, "Oh, football." Okay, now I got to analyze somebody. It's very simple logic, bro. Don't insult me, dog.
Football isn't about being bullied. You're not bullied.
It's about
being bullied. Hang on. You're not listening. See, I just heard everything. You see how I hear everything you say, and then when I start talking, you got to say something. So let me retort to what you just said. Just because in this sport, it's equal competitive sport. It's very aggressive, very dominant, very testosterone driven. Both teams got beef, whatever it is, right? That's fine. That's all fine and good on the green. On the green, a lot of things fly, right? Shit talking, whatever. You take the pads off. You ain't in the sport right now. You in an arena, you on the field, it doesn't matter. You're not in the sport. If someone approaches you and they're from another team and they want to smoke with you, that's not an equal force of whatever. You're not on a team and you're not playing the sport or the game. That is where things are equal and level between both teams and what have you. It is off the team with the pads off, coming for smoke, that you got a problem.
So again,
doesn't nullify anything in court.
So yeah, again, it will, and that's what I'm gonna tell it to you one more time and slow it down for you. We're talking from a legal defense and prosecution standpoint of something that you're going to be able to tell to a jury, and they believe you. No one is going to believe that you were also afraid for your life if you are a football player and an athlete when you compete constantly. Okay, go up against people that are bigger than you. And what happened? It was no punch thrown. It was a push. You were pushed one time, and then you respond with unaliving somebody. Okay?
He didn't respond with unaliving anybody. He didn't respond with unaliving anybody. He responded with one stab.
He died.
Yes, he died. That's the end result of his action. But he didn't. He didn't kill anybody. He stabbed him.
He did.
He died. He died as a result of the stab injury.
You wilding, bro. I can't even talk to you no more.
His intention isn't to kill anybody when you stab somebody.
To say you didn't kill somebody, bro, when you stabbed them is fucking asinine. You're a problem. You're the problem.
No, you're exactly the problem. I'm explaining to you exactly how the court's going to see it.
So fantastic.
You're the problem. You still killed him, bro. He
died as a result of a stab wound, but was his intention to kill him? Yes or no?
Yes, you killed him.
No. You can't prove that either.
Hamp, can you please talk to this man? This nigga don't got no sense. Don't
I understand the case.
Wait. All right. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to organize it, but it's not.
This nigga here, bro.
EBD, you said he stabbed him, but he didn't kill him.
No. I said he stabbed him. His intent wasn't to kill him.
No, nigga, you said he didn't kill him.
No, I did not say that. He died as a result of a stab wound, right? He didn't sit there and kill him and stab him. He didn't stab this man to death. He stabbed him and ran.
Yes, he did. He stabbed him one time and killed him.
Wait. You're saying that because it sounded like you said he stabbed him, he didn't kill him. You're saying he wasn't intending to kill him.
He wasn't intending to kill him. His intention wasn't to kill him. He did die as a result of the stab wound. Yes, he did. Yeah, but his intention wasn't to kill him.
So did Karmelo
Let me organize it. So you're saying he stabbed him. He wasn't intended to kill him, but he did kill him because he did die.
He did die.
Okay,
the result is he did die.
No, say he killed him. No, hold on, Cam. You dancing. I'm
not done. Hold on. So you know he killed the boy though, right?
Yeah, he killed him. Yeah, we can sum up as he killed him and he didn't mean to. Something like that.
Okay, now this part. When can you use a lethal weapon and then say I didn't mean to kill somebody?
Right. I think
that part leaves me with a little bit of a conundrum.
So only in the case of self-defense, when you feel like you're in immediate threat or danger of somebody actually, threatening to use violence, then I think according to most laws, you can use like deadly force.
No. What I'm saying is, we understand. I don't think he meant to kill him either, right? I think a lot of people regret, even motherfuckers who be meaning to kill people regret. Right. But I guess my question, EBD, is when do you use a lethal weapon and then say I didn't mean to kill him? You see? Because you're already using a lethal weapon.
Right.
That's the part that I just want to understand. Go ahead.
So here's what
you could jump in.
Yeah. So here's why I make the distinction, right? Because the actions were. He stabbed him and he ran. If his intention were to kill him, he would have stabbed him until he knew he was dead. I mean, that's the difference, I think, between when we call someone who intends to kill somebody and someone who's defending themselves and got the hell up out of there.
I think it's like if you leg check somebody in the hood, like, and if you don't know what that means, like if you shoot somebody in the leg, you can still get them out of here, but that's not your intention. You get what I'm saying? Like most people think if you get hit in the leg, you're gonna be all right. But there's arteries and stuff in there.
You can die from it.
You know what happened with Sean Taylor.
That's what I'm saying.
You can die from
Taylor is the one case that let all black boys know getting shot in the leg will kill you.
For sure, yeah. And then Mo 3 partner too, Roy Lee. Same thing happened with him. But so I think that's what kind of what EBD is saying is, if he stood there and won't. Then there's a difference. But at the end of the day, yes, he did. He's the reason for his death. Correct.
Right. Correct. He's responsible for his death.
What I was gonna say is,
okay,
I get what I think Fantastic is coming from the view of how the jury is gonna look at it. My opinion, he's gonna be cooked where he's at, the jury that's going to be picked, he's cooked. I don't think he got a chance, to be honest with you.
Here's.
I can't speak for the jury, but because you have also lawyers that, and their job is to convince the jury one way or another, and that they make the case. The lawyers make the argument, and the judge presides over the case, and then it's up to the jury.
EBD, we seen this movie. We know how it ends.
We know how it ends. No. We know how the movie. Wait. We know how the movie ends.
Yeah.
But and the reason we know how the movie ends is because we've seen this play out time and time again. That the law only favors one and not the other, and sees one as a victim and the other as a perpetrator straight off the bat.
So they have Austin here listed as 6 foot 225, class of 2026. That's what they have.
6 foot 225 versus I don't know how tall boy was, but at 130.
So they have Karmelo listed here at 5'11", 160.
That's 160. Yeah, that's close. Yeah,
what we call. That's what I told y'all, bro. You gotta stop listening to all this.
But the police report said 130.
Did it?
I think the one that didn't say 130 hit. The one that you
they said. Let me see. Hold on. They said one. Let me see. Where are the vitals at on the report?
Oh, I thought you had it pulled up. I thought when I read, I thought it said 130 on it. Yeah, say one.
Yeah, so here it has 5'9", 130.
It could be from his ID.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, because even when I was just playing his highlight tape.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't look no 130 in him.
No, he don't look.
That's what I'm saying. So now, all right. So now, all this shit you talking about, EBD is moot.
What are you talking about? You don't understand what I'm arguing, so you can't say it's moot because you don't understand it.
You said size and physical force. That was your argument.
But fantastic.
Yeah,
we still got to keep it real.
5'11", bro. 5'11". Come on, bro. 5'11" and 6 foot. There's no disparity there. 40 pounds between two boys. There's not going to be any disparity there.
Okay.
There is a disparity. There is a disparity.
Hey, look up Ray Lewis and Chad Johnson. I guarantee you they probably closer, and we saw how that ended.
Yeah, so the disparity is 60 pounds. In football, 60-pound disparities happen all the time.
All the time.
You seemingly deal with it in different ways. Now,
but hold on,
you don't put.
Who usually wins that?
Well, I'm saying, like, you can see in Karmelo's film, he
put his head in there. Yeah,
he's hitting. That's for sure. Now I think that over time you get overwhelmed though. Right, like in a football game, right? Yeah. So when I play strong safety or outside backer, I can deal with them guards first and second quarter.
Yeah.
But as the motherfuckers keep coming around that corner, third and fourth quarter, that 80 pounds is
you're making a business decision,
right? Great, and I can't. That for the remainder of the time now I'm cutting and shit. You know what I mean? I ain't taking them on like I was the first quarter.
Dion said you got to make a business decision.
Yeah, but hell, that's what I'm saying. So even more so now, if you have, that's not going to be a defense you're going to be able to use. First thing gonna do is, like you say, bring out them highlight tapes. So you mean to tell me you're afraid of this? He was in the for your life. Okay, come on, EBD, bro. Y'all don't want to have a
Texas. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Yeah. Fantastic. I agree with you about the jury looking at it like that. But I'm saying in general, as a regular person looking at that, like
come on, Tommy, even a regular person, bro.
Okay, so you mean to tell me, like, okay, you're 6'5". I've had niggas scare me just because of my height.
Tommy, you know how many people, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know how many, nigga, I'll whoop your ass, nigga, all this, all that, whatever, and so on and so forth, and size don't matter. Do you know how often big niggas hear size don't matter, bro?
No.
Even though you know niggas really don't.
Hold on, fan set. We hear it, but what happens when we face to face?
And yeah, I got you.
Something different. Yeah.
So I got you.
So if I'm 160 and I can see that you 225, business decision.
Right.
This probably ain't gonna end well for me. Now, if we on the internet, he probably would have been kicking it. But this is what we talk about all the time. it's real different when you face to face. So you're not going to tell me that somebody that's face to face with somebody that outweighs him by 65 pounds and his twin is sitting right there. So
But he don't know that. Well, I mean, I guess
true.
if he paying attention, but that's what I'm talking about. That so you can't. Don't even bring that in. We can't. Don't.
He was
Don't
no.
bring-
We're gonna see. We've already. This case proves.
Even if it ain't his twin, he know dude was with him.
Don't bring. But he had somebody with him too. So now that nullifies your point. He wasn't by himself.
Everything nullifies.
Hold up. It does.
Yeah, everything
It does.
nullifies. That's
I'm
not how
looking
it
at-
works. That's not how it
Bro,
works,
I'm looking at
Fantastic.
this.
In fact, this whole case is
Bro, I'm
fight or
looking at-
flight. This whole case, this man
Okay.
acted out of fear and ran. That
Okay.
goes fight and flight. That is a human adrenaline response to being threatened.
Okay, right. All right. So again, I'm gonna try
So
to
what
walk this
argument
down.
do you have?
I'm giving you the argument, and you're giving the emotional argument.
No, what's the argument you got?
I'm giving you legal and logical counters to everything you're saying. Y'all use the excuse about hold on. Let me answer the question. You keep using everybody excuse about a twin brother and him getting jumped. There's no evidence of him getting jumped. There's no testimony by anybody, any party of the brother, anybody touching him other than Austin himself. One, okay. Y'all are saying, oh, he knew he was by himself. No, he wasn't by himself because the EP dude that it was the reason he was over there. He knew him. So if anything, he had at least one other person he's with. That nullifies any false fucking claims of the brother getting involved, which never happened, or him being afraid because he's outnumbered.
Okay,
no, you can't subscribe a feeling. You don't have an argument to subscribe a feeling to ascribe a feeling to someone who was in the mix that he wasn't feeling fear, and what he does was what was he feeling at the time? If you say he wasn't feeling fear for his life, what was he feeling?
I can't say what he did. I can say this. I know he wasn't feeling fear because what he said. He said because he stayed there for the confrontation.
Why did he stab him and run? Why run?
Well, what happened before that, EBD?
He stabbed him, right?
What happened before that, EBD? He just
they were in a confrontation, right? They were talking smack, right? Things got physical, right?
So again, EBD, did you read the police report, EBD?
What about the police report?
Okay, so let me enlighten you, brother. So he was touched, he was pushed.
Yes.
And then he said, hey, touch me again and see what happens.
Correct.
If he was afraid, it wouldn't have been a touch me again and see what happens. He's out of there.
Oh, so
he's not motherfucking reaching it. He's not reaching into his bag. Wow.
So he gave him ample warning of him saying, "Do not touch me, or you will face like physical consequences."
So that's not afraid. So that's not afraid.
Wait. Was that a verbal warning?
That's a threat. Thank you. That's threat. That is a threat.
No, that's not a threat.
Yes, it is.
Not a threat.
When you have a weapon, EBD, hold on, let me
did he threaten him with that weapon?
Let me explain it to you. Yes, he did, because it was unbeknownst to everybody other than himself. He had the weapon, and no one else.
That's not threatening anybody with that weapon.
He had the weapon, and no one else knew he had the weapon. And then he said, "Hey, if you touch me again, see what happens."
Okay,
that's a threat, brother.
Did he brandish the weapon? Did he brandish the weapon at the time?
No, he brandished the weapon when he used it.
So then that's not a threat with the weapon.
It is a threat.
Let's put that in legal terms, Fantastic. Commit a crime against me and see what happens.
Correct.
Because everybody's acting like, last time I checked, that was assault.
Right.
And Tommy B, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So Tommy B, what's going to happen is if you pull out a weapon, a deadly weapon, and use it against me, okay, now you're going to have to go sit down in jail and hopefully get bail and face trial.
Yeah, I agree.
You knew you had a weapon, Tommy. If you, and this is the problem. I don't think people understand, Tommy. It would have been better for him to just immediately, like I said, come out the bag and jug him once he touched him.
Yeah.
That he did that. So you see what I'm saying? Or say you snuffed me, Tommy. If you snuffed me and I got the, you know what I mean? I got it on me, and I was like, you know, versus you just, all right, hey, you got this hand.
But see, Fantastic. My I get where you're coming from. My problem is the state that we're in, Texas.
I know, but even with Texas, it's going to be Texas still says proportional force. That's the part y'all not looking at.
No, we look at all of it. We look at all of the factors, Mr. Fantastic. They just don't equal out. They don't, and they never will. What applies to this person does not apply to this person, and that's what we're discussing here. not what actually happened, not whether or not he responded unreasonably. What the problem is that if we switch the context and the races of the people, all of this argument goes away. It's a non-issue.
It doesn't go away because I just told you what the statute
Nothing
says.
gets nullified.
I literally just told you what the statute says.
The white boy that lost his life maintains his innocence even though he was a bully, and the person who defended himself from a bully is criminalized.
EBD. So hold on, EBD. So is every physical altercation a bullying situation?
Usually, yes.
No, that's not true at all.
Hold on.
Every physical altercation is usually somebody bullying.
Wait.
All physical altercations are usually resulting to somebody bullying.
No,
yeah.
That's not true at all.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true, but hold on.
What do they result in?
Hold on. Let's look at this scenario, bro. You come up to the tent because somebody's sitting under and you don't think they should be. What gives you the audacity to then put your hands on them?
Tommy, you're right. No one is saying, Tommy.
No. I'm not. But listen to what I'm saying. That is a bully mindset.
Tommy, it's also a high school thing. It's also territorial bullying.
There is no high school thing. It's bullying. You're making excuses. Hang on. You're making excuses. You're making excuses for someone else's criminal behavior. You're making excuses for an illegal and criminal behavior that has plagued us since the fucking beginning. We are minding our own business, not doing a goddamn thing. And what you want to do is tell somebody who's a victim of bullying that they're not really being bullied and that it's all in their minds and that you all need to just get over something that's really not happening each and every day that we all have to fucking face when we walk out of our house.
All right,
doing anything.
All right, cool. So now we gotta do what you gotta do one of my famous experiments.
Hang on.
You gotta do one of my famous experiments.
If he's sitting there minding his own business, white boy is alive. Right?
Great. All right, you done? All right, now, Tommy, you ever seen anybody get ran off the block?
Yeah, for sure.
Niggas doing it to niggas, right?
Yeah.
All right, Hamp, you ever seen a nigga get ran off the block? Yeah. Okay. All right, EBD. So I know you're not.
What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
It means that you keep trying to random shit. I didn't interrupt you. You didn't put in you put in a racial aspect in saying that, oh, the white man, had nothing to do with the white man. People do it to people all the time.
Bro.
People do it to people all the time.
Hold up. You're missing.
Hold on,
Tommy. Go ahead, Tommy.
What up, buzzing, birds flip a dozen. Holla at your boy, you thought your cousin was.
Riri, salute, Riri in the building, renewed that membership. Appreciate you, Riri. Always here showing wild love and support. Salute, my brother Vet Life. OG. Vet Life for the 10 ounces Thursday pop-up at DJ HAMP. Much needed information and discussion. I'm not gonna lie, fam. I feel saddened for the young man. Listen, I'm hoping they give him a manslaughter charge, not murder 1 or 2. Yeah, Vet, and when we're looking at the statutes and the burden of proof for each and what the qualifications are, I think unfortunately, and I was really looking through this, man. I even talked to a couple lawyers, like, just to see am I discerning this correctly, and they like, look, the burden of proof can be met. It looked like for one of the other ones, so it's tough. See, through you with the $5, Karmelo is representing all black boys and men. That system is trying to railroad. Eyes with the 2000s. If this was 2 white boys, y'all wouldn't care. That's true. I wouldn't care, but I also don't know. Would that make a difference?
Yeah, it's putting a racial aspect in it, huh?
Well, I mean, I just see a face that looked like mine. I usually care more. Like, for instance, when I see like a black man on the side of the road or a black woman pulled over, most of the time I'll stop. I'll keep my distance and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be like, yo, you good? Y'all straight? There's a black dude. His bike had broken or something, but it was dark out, and so it was a bunch of Latino brothers around him. So I just dropped my kids off. I circled back. Yo, you good? Oh yeah, we just helping him put his wheel back on. Oh, okay, cool. So I guess I mean is that bad? I don't know. Rainbow Kid with the $10 says, I went through a similar situation where I warned a family member with a knife in my hand. Had I poked them, I could be Karmelo. Nothing was premeditated either. I was just fed up with their shit. You would have poked them in self-defense.
And been sitting your ass down in jail.
Yeah, that would have been
and
tough.
being that your name is Rainbow Kid, it might be Disneyland for you, brother. Glad you didn't do it.
The problem with what you said is you literally.
Hold on.
You still got a couple more left.
Marcus Antonio Castillo with the 2000. If Karmelo gets 10 to 20 years, that's fair, rightfully so. Marcus Antonio Castillo with the $2 says there were people making false police reports online. No, I got that from CVS, Texas, Frisco or Dallas. Uncle Rick with the $5 says, I guess y'all okay with ending someone for stepping on your shoes now. I mean, you touched them. 2 lives are about to be lost. This is a no-win. See, through you with the $2, stop using football. Use wrestling or boxing. Yeah, so now they generally don't let you box people out of your weight class. And we see the best can't even handle it. Even when Canelo went too far up to fight Bivol. Bivol can box, but also the size, he couldn't deal with it.
For him, he also won the lightweight championship against fucking what's his name. So you have it either way.
Canelo did?
Yeah, Canelo beat the boy that what's his name beat for the lightweight. He was the light heavyweight championship. That's why he ended up fighting Bivol.
No, Bivol had the championship. Oh, there was 2.
No, guys. He beat the white boy before that. I can't think of his name, but the same dude that Son of God beat.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so I guess your point is the skill set matters in those instances.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. D Savage with the $7 Canadian. What up, D Savage says in boxing, how many weight classes are between 60 pounds? Are there between 60 pounds? To say that doesn't matter is ludicrous. Rainbow Kid with the $5 is fantastic. When I had the knife, I was fearful too. So you're wrong about fear. Just because I had the weapon doesn't mean I wasn't fearful. Yeah, Rainbow Kid, I understand your premise. I think, bro, it's because they say a scary nigga shoot you quick.
Real
right?
quick.
So I think we understand that. But we're just looking at the setup of it all, right? We're trying to understand it, man. One thing I wanted to say. Now, the running part, EBD, I had to go in the other room real quick. But him running doesn't really, to me, illustrate much. So I've been in fights where, like if I got the knockout, I run.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody pokes somebody, they run.
Yeah, you know, somebody shoots illegal.
Shoot somebody, is all I'm saying.
So, what you running for?
So, because the crime has been committed.
Hold on, I'm asking him. What you running for?
The cops coming.
Yeah.
So that's fear?
Yes, of the cops.
Hell yeah.
But I'm not. But
so
it's
not
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid
of knocking the nigga out.
I'm just like, okay, Jake coming. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you ran out of fear.
Of the police.
Bro, even if it's the police, you ran because you were afraid of something.
Of consequences.
If you go
fear of consequences, bro. Fear of consequences is not the same as fear of actions, bro.
Bro, he did something. He ran, right? One came after the other.
Well, let me just walk. So EBD, essentially, when I got the knockout, I would have gotten the knockout again, but I didn't want to get arrested for getting the knockout.
Oh, right. This was during like a street fight, fist fight, something like that.
Yeah, essentially, right? So, boom, boom, boom. Fear of the fight. Like I wasn't regretful about the
thank you.
The fist fight.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, let me get out of here so I don't get caught for having a fist fight, but that's illegal.
Yeah.
Fear of consequences and fear of actions are two different things. EBD, it's not the same.
Oh, so you're saying he just wasn't afraid at all? He just stabbed him, ran because he just wasn't afraid.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the run EBD.
No, not you, Ham. Not you, Ham. I'm talking. I'm asking. Fantastic.
I'm saying it. Fuck it. I'm saying he wasn't afraid of shit.
I'm saying he was. Yeah, he was.
Well, this is what I'm gonna tell you, right? So in all self-defense cases, like you said, one of the statutes you have to have is fear and imminent fear of your life or safety. So that's what you have to say from a legal standpoint. Niggas don't be scared at all, bro. Niggas be done emptied the whole mag in a nigga, and when it come time for self-defense, they say, "Hey, I was scared." Hell, hey, what buddy said? Real quick, I'm gonna get the case law.
I don't think you're describing. I don't even think you're describing the actions of a gangster. I think you're describing the actions of a cop.
I'm gonna give you a case right now. The boy, what was the boy name down here? Football player.
Which one?
That shot that killed the boy. He had the drum on the AR.
I don't know that one.
The football player last year, he beat the charge. The girl lied.
When the brothers came.
Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph. Rudolph said the same shit. I was afraid of my life. That's why I ran the street. But the drugs, let it go.
Okay, but fantastic. If she sent her brothers to your house, what makes you think you're not scared?
Bruh, come on, like Tommy. I'm not even. This is what I'm saying, man. I'm saying most people say what they have to say to beat a charge, bro.
I agree with you, but what
even
I'm telling you,
even if today, listen,
fantastic.
Tommy, if I got you dead and right, so I'm in Florida. Florida's a stand your ground state. If I say, Tommy, do you know how big the difference is? I say, yeah, I killed them. I meant to do it.
I understand, but listen to me, fantastic. This is what I think we're missing, and I think this is what TV shows and movies and shit fuck people up. The average citizen is scared to smoke somebody, period. Whether they're in the right or wrong. Period.
I got you.
Just being put in that situation to think that you have to do that puts fear in you. So to think that just you literally just recklessly said niggas ain't walking around scared. That's the reason why these white folks look at us like that, because they think we ain't scared of shit.
When I say niggas, bro, I'm talking people in general. If you got a weapon on you, bro. If you got, my bad, I shouldn't have said niggas. This is what I'm telling you. A person with a weapon, for the most part, Tommy, you're not scared. You're prepared. Okay?
You are scared. You are scared.
You're prepared.
Fantastic. Hold up, Tommy.
Wait, what do we say, fantastic?
Majority people
Good morning.
It gives you a false sense of security.
Yeah, majority people don't get training with their weapons, fantastic. So
it's not false at all. Tommy, listen, I'm telling you, bro. Tommy, I am never afraid of anywhere I'm at if I got my shit on me. And that's in most cases. HAMP can attest you to this. I travel with my shit.
To the service, fantastic.
Okay, hold on. That's what. So what I'm trying to even being without the service, most people that carry guns, bro, they're prepared to use them. Be they fucking military.
Niggas die with guns
I got you
every day.
You're right, Tommy. You're right. Niggas die with guns on them. Niggas die with guns off them. What I'm telling you is this, though. If a person is carrying a gun, they're carrying it being prepared to use it.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right.
But it still doesn't remove the fear. Because if I end up in a situation where I feel like I have to use it, that brings fear.
That's out of fear. You're responding out of fear.
So what's the crux of the argument specifically? What is being argued?
Wait, hang on. What I'm hearing, hang on. What I'm hearing is that when it comes to a black teenage boy or to black men, period, that certain emotions we're not allowed to feel. We can just remove fear from the aspect of a confrontation simply because either there's this attitude or stereotype towards us that says we're not afraid, so whatever we do, we intend to do it, and it's not from an emotional response. We always know what we're doing, so therefore you should prosecute us and look at us as such.
Okay.
No. What my argument, HAMP, is the boy has to say he's scared for the sake of beating 99 years in prison. He did not show any of his actions, and his reaction did not show someone that was scared versus prepared for some shit, as you even said yourself.
For you, fantastic. Hold on, Will. I got the perfect example for you, fantastic.
Why did he ask? It was the kid.
When Craig fought Debo at the end of Friday, was he scared or not? And he had the thing on him.
Yeah, he was scared to fight him. Yeah, that's why he pulled the fucking.
Debo didn't have nothing on him. No. He had the thing on him, and he was still spooked. He pulled it, and he was still spooked.
Debo had a big.
So that literally kills your whole argument. That's your exact situation that was scared.
Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
My whole thing is why would you think he wouldn't be scared? That's full of shit. Because for one, he's 17 years old. He has no other things about violence but playing football. And then when he ran, it scared the shit out of him because he literally stabbed somebody, and he asked them, "Was the kid all right?" If you didn't care, you wouldn't even ask that question. If he really didn't give a damn, and for you to think that he's just that calculated all of a sudden, where he just knows I'm gonna say something best to get out of it. He was saying that he defended himself. Have you ever seen? See, I worked in juvenile corrections, so I've seen all this bullshit, murders, rapes, all of that shit. When you can tell a kid that really don't truly give a fuck
and one that is scared out of their mind because they made a mistake. But to sit there now and just to shit on them as if what? What is that? What is that doing?
Well, I don't. Well, listen, what I'm saying. Like, y'all are way too emotionally invested in this, and I'm gonna say it's
emotionally invested
because you're saying that I'm shitting on him. What I'm telling you is this.
Emotional with y'all.
Because that's what you are, and you're proving it right now. So I say this to EBD, and I'm gonna say it to everybody before y'all even got up here. Everything I'm talking from is from a legal perspective and what a jury will believe. Okay, all this extra shit.
It ain't like
all this, brother. I cover this. I cover this on my channel. I read the police report. HAMP read the police report. HAMP read the police report. I know the details. I didn't believe none of this fake shit that I'm not gonna say y'all, but most of these niggas was running around here quoting. I waited for the facts and the evidence that are been presented so far. Okay, what I'm telling you is this. Okay, that dude, okay, did not show in his actions that he was afraid of anything. He was prepared. He came there prepared with a knife. I'm not saying he had intention. Let me finish. I didn't say he came there with the intention of using the knife to take someone's life, but he clearly had the knife for smoke. That's why he warned, and that's what he went to at first. You guys saying that, hold on. Y'all saying and not understanding that fear of action and fear out of reaction are two different things is the problem here. If, like Hemp said, how many times do people do something wrong and they run after the fact? They're not scared to shoot. They're not scared to fight. They're not scared to stab. They scared to get locked up. It's not the same thing. The boy ran because he stabbed somebody in the chest.
True, man. It's not
okay, well, it's not. So you know what? We'll fucks it up. Hold on. So when you say, hold on, wait, Mr. Williams, Mr. Williams,
you can have a crowd of people with those
Mr. Williams,
you gotta let them talk.
people and shoot in the earth and watch how many motherfuckers run.
So Mr. Williams,
let them talk.
So Mr. Williams, what I'm trying to tell you, when you got to qualify with that's not always true, that means sometimes it is. Okay. That means it's not always a lie either. So that's a moot argument, all right? What I'm telling you is 99% of the time, though, the vast majority of the time, where a life is taken from a person knows to say instinctively, okay, I was afraid of my life, or I was attacked, or this happened. And if y'all would have paid attention to Hamp reading the entire police report, okay then. So you heard him say, hold on. Y'all keep talking about the one part, and this is why I say y'all are biased. You're picking a side already in this. You're not being neutral from a legal perspective. Yes, he said, was he okay? But what did he say before he asked, was he okay? What did he say before that, Mr. Williams?
I was protecting myself.
What did he say other than that? What did he say?
Defending myself.
And what else did he say? Could this be considered self-defense? Could this be, he asked the police officer, could this be considered self-defense?
Okay.
I still like, so where's the video cam for that?
Wait.
Well,
you say that to me what?
So ain't no cam for nothing.
He asked the police officer, hang on. Let me get this fact straight. He asked the police officer.
He's still going by some white people's words, right?
Well, you going by the white people's word that he said, was he okay?
They'll never lie, right?
Well, what they did was lying about these was he okay?
Look who's emotional right now, screaming.
80% of their population is what?
I'm gonna tell you again. So this is why again you're proving my point, and I'm glad y'all niggas are emotional, bro. You're not making no sense. You're not making no sense because now you're gonna say, oh, you're gonna believe the white people, but the white people is the people that said asked was he okay? So which is it?
Okay, one black kid getting questioned.
So you gonna run away from that, huh? You gonna run away from that part, right?
I mean, I want to know it all. This is the first.
Well, if you want to know it all, none of it counts. Since it came from a white police officer, so that means all the testimony and everything in the police report is null and void because a white man recorded it.
All I've been hearing is white people. I ain't heard nothing about nobody.
And again, and thank you for proving my point. You niggas are emotional and y'all can't be trusted.
No, we know the facts. We know the facts of the case, and we know how it's going to turn out. We know that. We know the context of what we're dealing with in the legal system. Nobody's stupid.
You don't know shit.
Yeah, we do.
You're putting race into something that has nothing to do with race.
Yes, we do.
So you're putting race into something that has nothing to do with race. You're proving my point as usual.
Hold on, you go off the deep end, fantastic. Hang on. Let me say it. The context of this, the foundation and the building of this goddamn country is founded on race. So what are you talking? Every law that derives from the Constitution that was about white men, convention and signing and all that was about us too, and what we could and couldn't do. So all the laws and the application of the laws derive from that. That hasn't changed. There is no edit. There's no upgrade. So it's not us who decides, who's black and who's white and what happens when you get into a confrontation. There's a system in place for that. So we know the outcome.
So fantastic.
Black kid stabs a white kid. But
No. He's not going home.
Hey, let Tommy get in, man. Hey, Tommy got to get a chance to talk. Hold on. Let's set some order. Tommy, it's on you, bro. Go ahead.
Do you think the jury is going to be emotional? Because more than likely where that place is at is going to be mostly white. So again, I've never heard anybody call the Rodney King jury emotional. I'm just saying.
You said what now?
So do you think that jury is going to be emotional? Because that's why I think he's cooked. Because I think they're going to go in there and it's automatically he cooked from the get-go.
Yeah, Tommy, I think they're going to get a change of venue. I don't think they're going to let that child be heard there.
Oh, okay.
But if it was there, I agree with you 1,000%. Of course, they'd be emotional. It'd be very, very difficult to get an unemotional, unbiased jury in that town to where you had, a child get killed by another kid.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I think in that state it will be.
No, he won't. Wait, Tommy, ask the question. Answer the question. In what state will this young man get a fair trial?
Oh my God. Didn't I just tell you? Hold on, bro. I just told you.
In what state is this guy going to get a fair trial? Because if we go to Florida, Zimmerman walks after following a kid, killing him. He walks, and then Tamir Rice gets shot in the playground. This guy grabs one and runs. Where is he going to get a fair trial of peers and juries that say, "Oh, you know what? This young black man has a right to self-defense, just like I do." Nowhere,
every black man is guilty. Ain't no black man ever beat no charge. Ain't no black man ever won one.
See, that's coming out of your mouth now.
Jesus Christ, bro.
But that's coming out of your mouth now. So what state? Fantastic. You're going out a little bit.
Your mic bugging out.
Why don't you answer my question? What state is he going to get a fair trial and seen as an equal human being with his right to defend himself?
Any of the 50 states of the United States of America. I don't know how they do shit in Puerto Rico, but most likely there too.
It sounds like you're full of shit.
It don't sound like
no black men. No black men. You know why? Because if black men had this right to defend themselves, none of us would be in jail. Nobody would dare touch us out on the street if we had this right to defend ourselves and with lethal intent. No one would bully us. We can stand on the street. We can stand on the street corner and not be harassed. We can do things and be publicly accommodated, because if anyone actually disrespected us or followed on our store, we can actually have those rights to fuck around and find out and defend ourselves and teach our children that, and that the law and the system would protect and enforce our rights to exist in peace.
Okay, so the problem with this again, man, is there's case after case where black men have beat the case, where black men have won the case, have been found not guilty. We literally just told you a case of in Florida last year where the Rudolph guy he beat a murder charge, bro. Killed somebody in broad daylight. He ran out into the street. Hold on. He ran out into the street. Mm-hmm. He ran out into the street and shot down as a car pulled away from him with I don't even know, like a 50-round mag. He won. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. One.
If you look hard enough, hold on. Actually, it's another case. It was in New York. A black man pushed a man tracks. The man.
Your audio again. Hang on, your audio again. No, your audio. No, your audio. Your audio. We're trying to hear you.
What the fuck is going on? Why is my shit going in and out?
You're good now. You're good now.
Either way, listen. There's a man in New York City. Okay, the man, he killed him. Killed the dude. Puts him on the railroad tracks. They end up looking at the tape, but he got found not guilty. Okay, and I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other cases that may not have been of note and local stuff that people may know of where black people win court cases every day.
In all 50 states, In all 50 states, there are no courts. There are no systems. Wait, hang on. Hold up. There are no systems in place to defend like black advocacy, like legal intent. You either to plead out, you don't have enough money to hire a decent attorney. You get people who are falsely accused of crimes are still locked up 20, 30 years later for crimes they didn't commit. You have juries that are biased. You have judges that are biased. You have lawyers that are having lunch with the jury and the judge, not the jury, but the judge and other DA's office and prosecutor's office. You have this system that is rigged against a particular type of person that you see as less than human or deserving of rights. In this country, everywhere.
So how would you explain that? Okay, so hold on. So let's use this, right? So like Baltimore. Baltimore is a predominantly black city, right? A major predominantly black city, right?
Sure.
All right, so most of those cases that will be heard by a jury would be what type of jurors?
Maybe predominantly black or whoever.
Oh. So what you saying is not everybody coons, because even niggas convict niggas of crimes that they believe they committed.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, so what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Mr. Fantastic. I'm talking about, okay, hang on. Here's where your disconnect is. I'm talking about an actual system, and then what you want to use is try and use a city to say, well, because this city doesn't comport with the entire fucking infrastructure system that, I got you, checkmate, because this one city doesn't meet the entire criteria standard in all 50 states for all time.
Well, for one, again, EBD, you said states, and I gave you a city, brother, and most
city
states
in a state.
Hold on. So a city is within a state, correct?
Correct.
So I promise you, what I can do for sure, EBD, I'm willing to bet you $1,000 right here. I hope you take the bet. I promise you, out of the 50 states, I can find at least one city where a fucking black man has been found not guilty on some sort of crime. I promise you.
Some sort of crime. How about self-defense?
Yeah, that too. Murder too. I promise you. I promise you.
Murder?
I guarantee you. You want to take the bet? Take the bet.
No, I don't want to take that bet.
So why you want to take the bet? So hold on. You speaking with so much conviction. Yeah. And you say it's never happened.
No, let's just do the research and find out.
I'm telling you, my city.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it's worth. It's worth looking into.
Get out constantly, man.
It's worth looking into.
No,
let's see someone.
Drugs and violence faster.
You got to put the context in there, though, EBD, because you setting yourself up.
No, I don't mind setting myself up. I can be wrong, Tommy. I can be wrong. There can be an example.
Stop and listen.
Go ahead.
He just said that no black man has ever been found not guilty. That's what he said. And you're not listening. That's why you're falling for the bait. He said ever. You get what I'm saying?
Oh. Is that his claim?
Yes.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Your argument is saying that no black man in the 50 states have ever been found not guilty, bro. That's the argument.
No, I didn't. What the hell? I didn't say that.
That's the argument you're saying. You said
self-defense. I said self-defense.
Even self-defense. Still, that's what I'm telling you.
That's the issue.
Okay, and I'm speaking within that. I'm telling you that I promise you, in every 50 state, bro, I can find a case.
Somebody that got self-defense, bro.
Promise you.
There's been somebody that's got self-defense in all 50 states. That's what I'm looking into. No, I'm not taking a bet. I'm looking into that. I want to see if that's true or not. That's worth looking into. It's not worth anything else.
Google it.
Yeah, just Google it.
Niggas even wild. Even say you got to
we'll find 50 states, and we'll find a court example in every 50 state that a black man killed someone white and did not go to jail, and it was because of self-defense.
That's the context.
That's the context.
I promise you. Even
that's the context.
And hey, you ain't even gotta do 50. I can tell you this: if you find one in Alabama, Mississippi, goddamn it, that count for 50. I'll tell you that right now.
No, but we'll look into it. It's a good question to ask. It's good. It's worth looking into. I want to look into it.
What I'm gonna tell you is what you described as far as somebody getting ran off the block is literally bullying. Like that's literally with even when you say you send a nigga to the store, oh, where the money at? Nigga, you got it. It's bullying. They're doing it because
hold on. You said, what are you saying? If you get somebody off the block that's bullying, nah. You can it could be somebody that's causing issues and shit. Get the hell up off his block before you get up out of her.
Okay, hold on, Will. What you just say before you get up out of here? That's bullying.
It ain't bullying. If you a problem with my neighborhood or my community and you raising hell, Man, you up out of her. So either you gonna walk on your own, or we gonna carry you out of her.
Now, is that kind of? It sounds like, okay, Mr. Williams. What it sounds like is you're responding to somebody that is like messing stuff up and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing in your neighbor. Okay, so Tommy, then what he's saying is this is how we respond to a bully.
No, it's not a bully. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay. Every physical interaction between men is not bullying, bro. Men are combative.
That's not what. That's not what we're saying. Fantastic.
So hold on. So this is what I'm talking. So why are you guys putting the bullying tag on it when the white boy talk to the other boy and be like, "Hey, you're in my shit"? That's not.
That's entitlement. That's bullying. That has nothing.
Okay, no.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's what bullying is, bro.
Oh my god.
You're in my space. You're in my space.
Exactly. Thank you. You prove my point. EBD, you have been with a group of friends or with a group of people and so on and so forth. It's like, yo, who's this nigga? Right? Who is he or who are you? Y'all know him? No, you know, hey, bro, I don't know you. Is that bullying? It's not bullying.
No, that's not bullying, but that's not what happened either. That's not what happened.
So stop cutting me off. Let me finish. Let me finish. So that's exactly what happened. Y'all are putting the.
That's not what happened, bro.
That is what happened. Everybody
walked over and put hands on him. He walked over and put hands on him. They exchanged words. It got physical.
Okay, and
there are always like, you and your group of homies, and there's somebody you don't know. Yeah, you be asking who that fool over there, but it don't get physical. Do it.
Shit, me, yes, the fuck you do at times.
Okay, well, I don't roll with the fools you roll with, and that's not what happened here either. If it was like a beat it Michael Jackson, one group against another group, I can see the gangs in New York getting together. Then that's equal amount of force, right? Two football teams, here. They meet on the field, it's equal. Off the field, this is not equal. What happened was not equal.
It's two boys.
It ain't.
It's two boys.
Two boys versus no.
Fantastic. So fantastic. This is the reason why I see it as bullying. And this is just a personal thing. If I think bruh was the same 225, I don't think hands would have been put on him. I think it's a situation where I'm significantly bigger than you. I told you to get out the tent, you didn't want to. Now I'm gonna physically put hands on you. I think if you put bruh and again, this is me. I'm not saying it's not a fact. Of course, I don't know that. But again, me and you have already acknowledged that people act a lot real different if you're the same size or bigger. So I think if bruh was 225 like him, I don't think the interaction would have went that way. That's why I say bully.
Tommy, I'll be 1,000% fair, fam. I'll be 1,000% fair. But I still don't think a size disparity automatically fucking denotes to bullying. Okay,
that's exactly what happened.
It's not. Listen, it's done been people. So so EBD, listen what you're saying, right? So I am like the fucking literally the 2 percentile of people in the world when it comes to size, bro. That means I would be bullying people 99% of the time. Anytime I tell them to do anything.
99% of the time, people might feel bullied when you
come off a certain way.
Hang on. You just said you're a percentile of height, right? But the 99% people you come across, you're not bullying them, but they might feel, some of the percentage of people might feel bullied by you.
And that's not your fault. That's your fault. Thank you, EBD. Thank you. So we're on the same page. So EBD, I cannot control the other person's feelings. I can only control my actions and intentions.
Right.
So if I get into it with a person or I speak to a person, right, and this is shit like this can happen. People will tell you this shit. Bro, people hold on you, bro. Just fucking like, you stop me, you scared me, you're too close or whatever. I thought you were gonna do something to me.
Right.
Now I can't control my fucking stature, bro. I can't control my fucking genes, okay? You cannot blame me for you being afraid, insecure, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because I'm in your presence, right? Now, like I said, if I put my hands on you, that's totally different. But that don't mean I'm bullying, because like you said with Mr. Williams, if you being disrespectful or you being whatever, and I ask you politely, hey man, can you shake the spot? This my shit, right? So this our shit, and we don't know you like that, and we trying to keep someone. And again, I'm still not saying it's warranted. I am not. Let me be clear for all you fucking Million Man marchers out here. I am saying it's right whatsoever to put his hands on Karmelo. He was wrong. Was he
bullying? Was he bullying?
To himself. What I'm saying is this: you cannot use the automatic assumption is that he put his hands on him because he's white and he's black.
Was Carmelo Anthony being bullied? Was he?
Why boy going to bully the boys? Proof of this. Your own motherfucking emotion. So that's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, his audio goes out.
Your mic.
Yeah, it came out the last time, but like I said, the question is, you said lay hands. He shouldn't have laid hands. What do you constitute laying hands as bullying?
No, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so now physical hands on body is not bullying.
No, it's not all the time. It's not all the time bullying.
Lou, you got to be on camera, good brother. Then I'll bring you up. Go ahead, Ms. Fantastic.
When we grew up, a lot of times they told you if you're
can't smoke on camera,
somebody and you put hands on somebody, they would consider that bullying. If you go into a fight that you know the other guy ain't got no chance, it's considered bullying. Like that's kind of some of the rules that we came up on.
Bullying is emotional, it's physical intimidation, and it's physical violence. I am going to do this. I mean, I am using my stature and my size to intimidate you, to get you to think and do what I want and to submit.
Only thing is, real quick, right? Bullying is chronic. I think in this instance, he tried to intimidate him. You see, but the bullying would have to have a little bit of history to it. And what I told the ladies is, I don't know if you want to make the bullying argument because it doesn't actually line up with your self-defense argument. It would actually hurt the self-defense argument because if they have history, then him having that knife, who is that knife for?
Exactly.
Right. So I don't know if
you can bully somebody you just met.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying, listen. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. But I'm just saying, Tommy, right? When we're making that argument, right? Bullying usually has a history to it, you know.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So
now he has that knife, right?
Example, fantastic.
Hold on. No more examples. Just let me finish this, right?
It did come out last night that they had past history.
So you see, now that really hurts the self-defense. And why does he have the weapon and etc.? Because now he could be saying, "Oh, I'm going to his school. I'm going to see him. If he tried me this time, I'm gonna poke him up." You see, so I'm just looking at what the statutes say.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Qualify or not qualify for self-defense. So I just want us to be, you know what I'm saying, just careful because where we, potentially wanted to fall. Did Key go yet?
No, not yet.
Key was popping. Lou Hefner was goody.
What's going on, Panel? How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. A little bit going to what you just said though. If I know I'm going to a neighborhood that I know I got probably have problems at, and I bring my pistol, and niggas pull up on me, and I use it, I'm still using self-defense, but I'm prepared. That's what I'm saying. I don't think
No, because you know what the premeditation is. I know I got beef over here, and I'm going anyway with my gun.
They literally trying to get little baby on that right now.
Yeah, you can't actually do that because what it would be, Key, is you inciting, right? If you don't go over there, you're not inciting anything potentially. But if you do go, potentially there can be an issue.
So if I go, so you saying I'm going to my mom's house where my mom lives? You feel me? I got problems, but I have to go see my mom's. So if I have to go see my mom's, I'm not going into to start anything. I'm going in there to go see my mother, but I'm there as well to safely to protect myself. So almost in the side of him going to the track meet, he has no reason. He can't say I can't go to this track meet. I got to go to this track meet where his school is. I wasn't trying to go where his school is, but I have to go because that's where the track meet is.
Except for you go under his tent.
But his tent, but he was not a track. If I wasn't clear, the white boy wasn't a track star. It wasn't a track meet, right?
So here's the thing about that, right? Interestingly enough, in all the reports, they say an athlete has been stabbed. So the reason why I'm saying that's great is because I think he's a star athlete. He plays football. From his tape, he plays pretty well. Mm-hmm. So they could just be saying athlete because they know he's an athlete, or he could be on the track team, but it's not clear. You see?
Yeah, I got that. I got you.
Now, I'm just going off. When we was growing up, majority of us that played sports, football and basketball players ran track as well.
Yeah, but not all the time. Not all the time. And
I'm saying on a consistent basis, we did at least 2 sports, and track was one of them. So if you played football, you ran track as well, because everybody was trying to get to college. So
Nah,
you
but
were
look,
using your gifts.
that's not a guarantee that you had to run
You're
track.
not hearing what I'm saying, man. Usually football and basketball players do run track as well.
Exactly. You can play other sports. There's more than sports than just track, sir. So this is what
You're
we're not
not
going.
hearing what I'm
Sir, hold
saying,
on.
dude. It
I'm here.
coincides
There is not.
with each season, dude. is
We
what I'm
don't
saying.
know. As of right now, they said he was at the track meet. The white boy was not. Didn't supposed to be at the track meet. Until that changes, that's what I'm going off of that. I'm not going off another imaginary ram off going off anything else. I'm going off as what
It's speculation. Mr. Williams is simply saying the likelihood of him being on the track team is high.
It's high. Might be high, but if it's not, if I'm there where I'm not expecting to see him, but I know I might have smoke for him, then I'm not going to look for attention. I'm going there for my track meet. Can you say that? Can we agree on that part? And the same thing as if I'm going to my mother's house, I have to go to my mother's house as I don't have no problem.
Well, I understand it. I think the tent messes it up though.
Yeah.
Right, because there's a bunch of tents. If you look at the film from On High, they have the tarp covering the knife. They have the tent from Memorial. Then there's a tent from like Jones or something. So there's other schools there, other tents there, your own team's tent, and etc. Right, and so I understand your premise. I think it's solid, except for when you go to the nigga's house and go sit on his porch and you got beef with him.
Facts. But if I'm not expecting that, if that wasn't his house, it's probably a house that he probably lived in the neighborhood, but I expect him to pull up to this house because he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, his house got his name on it though.
True. Feel me? I just look at it as, I just don't want to we quick to always say he's the one, he's the wrong. Even when we say he's there with a weapon, we all been at the teenage life that niggas had something at the school. I'm like, I can't. We got to stop playing the fakeness that we wasn't teenagers, and especially if you was a teenager that was kind of in a lifestyle of think you with that business, you had something. So we got to stop the playing like, oh, he's no, he was.
And we also knew what came with it if we had to use it.
If you got smoke with somebody, guess what you do? You keep your ass at where you at. If you got smoke with somebody, then you're inviting some shit. You're inviting something to come.
I went to school knowing I had smoke with people had smoke with me. I had to go to school still.
Well, we know about the school stuff. What I'm saying is, if you go to a neighborhood where we're not
talking about. We're talking about the.
They don't even go to the same school. So let me see. Right. See through you with the fellas. He ran from the bleachers, but he didn't leave the scene. Two different things. Okay. See through you with the fellas. Officer Cortez was the KA. What does that mean? I don't know. The whole time and never made mention to that statement, but Officer Ritchie somehow the only one saying he said that. Yeah, I pointed that out when I read it through. Mike Brown with the 2000. Karens would be a bully. Callie Bev with the 5,000 bully. Verb, to treat someone in a cruel, insulting, threatening, or aggressive fashion. Yeah, I think I think when I presented what I presented, I said bullying, right? Mm-hmm. So I said bullying is a consistent thing. So I don't think that this definition refutes what EBD and I were discussing. Right. Sean Antonio with the 5 says Key looked like he played a gang member in every Ice Cube movie. Yeah, matter of fact, like this right here, right? EBD, just so we can not we reaching, right? Just talking through it. So bullying. So this is the anti-bullying alliance, right? The repetitive, right? Bullying, the repetitive, intentional hurting. So that's what we were talking about. So
if this is kind of a bullying situation though, can this actually work in Carmelo's favor to extent? I mean, because sadly the white boy is not alive to kind of go against their testimony and everything, kind of go back. But if you have a bullying, and say the Carmelo is the one that's always getting bullied, and he probably reported it. You say it was a report of a bullying. If he comes and do something to him, would that almost give a showing of a habit of someone doing something? You already showing that he been bothering me. We got history of it already. Then you can't ask the white boy, but why did you go to him if you have problems with him? Kind of things like that.
Yeah, the stories, Uncle Rick. The stories are fascinating in how they're being laid out, right?
Yeah,
With the
very
different
true.
kids and all that. So, like, were they sitting there? Who was sitting there? It
That's another
just,
thing.
it's,
How many
it's
kids was there? How many kids? Because when you talk about fear, because and another thing, the brother, the twin brother. If you watched his first interview, he when he said when Carmelo he got into it with Carmelo, then he stopped. He like, well, I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name. I don't know it. I just met. Actually, I just knew. I just then met him. Like he pretended he didn't know who Carmelo was, and I feel like he actually knew who Carmelo was. So that's what kind of throws me off a little bit. That I feel like he really knew who he really was.
well, from the police report, only I think his name was PE or FE. FP was the one that knew him. The other witnesses didn't say they knew him, but they say it's FP's friend. FP know who he is. So there's something there, man. Lou, what's popping?
What up, though?
How you?
Oh man, I can't complain. How y'all everybody's doing today?
Doing all right. What's goody?
Oh man, shit chill. I mean, on that little situation, man. I mean, speaking on it, I mean, I do know people that have got off on that type of stuff before, on self-defense or something else, so we don't know the history. But if it is, if there's something different with it, I mean, it's the intention with all this type of stuff. I mean, we all done, had to walk, to the park and had to walk to the stores and all this type of shit. We all had to have a little knife. We all had, little Swiss Army knife. We all went through that before. It just it is bad about the intention of the situation. It do sound premeditated a little bit, but it's like it's tragic though from what I'm seeing so far.
So what's your take? If you the judge, you convicting them or what?
If I'm the judge, I'm analyzing the situation all the way through. I'm convicting them, but I'm not giving them the boot. So I mean, yeah, he going to have to do something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it sounds like it could have been avoided, especially if he already knew where he was going. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's like it's like sitting on somebody's front porch that show eyes. It's like, come on now, you expecting to get shot. You can't be talking about being innocent. You ain't innocent at that time because you knew what you were going there for. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to break in somebody's house and you know they there and they got a gun. And they tell you, hey, don't come in. You know behind that you may not come back.
Lou, are you teaching your son if he out of bounds, he outman, use his weapon or use his hands? It's 2-on-1.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm like this. I'm teaching them survival. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk away. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you gotta walk away. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whether it's anything could be a weapon. So I can't be like, use your hands and get beat by 4-5 people. No, that's not how it's going. You know what I'm saying? If you could walk away, walk away.
Okay. So what if it's a 1-on-1? He got his ox on him, or he got the banger on him.
I was 1-on-1. Handle your business. You know what I'm saying? No, put your gun away. Handle your business with your hands.
But he got his little ox on him. Can he at least give him $150?
Nah, ain't no need for it. You 1-on-1. Now, I mean, now I'm gonna say this. Now, if he's like, we all know about David and Goliath. You know what I'm saying? We all know about this story. You know what I'm saying? If it's in that type of situation, hey, yeah, you gotta pick up something, knock that motherfucker down, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm not gonna say that to gut the dude and all that type of stuff. But I'm not saying to let him beat you to death either. You know what I'm saying? Because all he gotta do is pretty much hit that man. You know what I'm saying? A couple times, he could kill him right there.
Damn. So like,
and these kids don't fight fair. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no hitting them and getting up. Now that's not how they doing it nowadays. You know what I'm saying? These cats beating you and then hitting you with chairs and shit. So I mean,
what's happening nowadays, bro?
You know what I'm saying?
So by that logic, Lou Hefner, you saying you got to pull a banger then?
Well, I ain't saying you have to, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying you got to walk away. I'd rather be the one telling people about the story than to be the one that people talking about.
Do you see yourself walking away if you Carmelo at 17?
Yeah. If it's more than one person, yeah, I see myself walking.
Let me ask you a question. You at the track meet. You got the ox on you. White boy come through, condescending tone. Fuck you doing under this tent? The fuck out of here. Go sit in your own tent. Even though you with your man, and then you notice your man don't even say nothing. He act like he don't even know you type shit. Big ass white boy talking down to you. You just you just gonna get up and move?
Well, I mean, at that time, I'm gonna tell him, yeah, I'll let you get this one. I'll let him know. I'll let you get this one.
Look, he's stuttering. He don't even believe what he's saying. Well, come on, man.
No, real shit. Ain't no stuttering. This real talk. I'll tell his face. I'll let you get this one. That's it. You feel me? But it ain't gonna be no just walking away. No punk shit. I'll let you get this. But trust me, I mean, after, if I feel like I want to get to you after,
Boy, y'all grew up in different streets. I grew up in.
Hold on. Is it fair? But he gonna call you gonna get called a punk. You saying that it just is what it is? You live with
I mean, words ain't shit. You ain't put your hands on me. I'm an action type individual.
So you think words don't hurt to you?
No, words don't hurt, man. I'm an action individual. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get towards me on that type of stuff.
Would you rather?
Because I protect myself.
Would you rather get punched in the face by Mike Tyson, or have your girl tell you that the last nigga she was with had better dick than you? What would hurt more? You think?
Boy, look, both of them fucked up. Both of them fucked up. Look, that is not a question even to ask nobody.
I think I might take getting punched in the face, brother.
He felt that though. He felt that shit.
but I'm gonna tell you, look, we all felt that. Look, I seen y'all. Y'all was like, oh shit too.
Yeah, but, I'm definitely. Hey, Lou, I'm definitely getting punched in the face.
Oh God, don't tell me nothing like that.
I'm at the go ahead and let Mike go and get one. I'm like, Mike, go ahead, get my bag.
Go ahead, get your shit off, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm cool. I don't give a fuck what she say.
I'm like,
I ain't getting hit by no motherfucking mic, nigga. It might not be no coming back from that.
But the point is, that shit hurt like a motherfucker, nigga.
Oh no, it's definitely gonna
fuck
hurt.
her after that. How you gonna fuck her after that?
You know what, though,
It's over.
I can show her better than I can tell her. Like, what you mean?
She just told you already. Like,
I'm thinking about what you said, Hamp, when you was talking to Lou, and I'm like, majority of kids would mostly walk away if they got a scholarship and they're going to college. I think majority of them would walk away.
I mean,
they don't want to ruin their chances.
Man, let me tell you. Hey, can I tell you the story though, Hamp? That I know I ain't got no scholarship in this grade. Eighth grade. It's eighth grade. But I'm about to graduate. Walk the stage. I had to do all kind of shit to walk the stage. Mexican dude came across and found out he hit one of the homegirls. What you think I did? I fucking did what I had to do. Didn't graduate. Niggas don't think when it comes down to when it comes down to it like that. Especially at this age, 17. Come on, these kids ain't thinking.
Your thinking is not as clear. I remember I had
nowhere clear.
That's why I laughed at what Lou said.
Well,
I mean, I'm gonna just walk away.
Fact, I mean, we all the same. Otherwise, I mean, but see, I mean, it's true fact. I mean, we got our own opinion on how we do it.
I mean, I give you that.
My son had to walk away.
I mean, being 17, being 17, going through that around that time. I mean, keep it 100%. I mean, you got more than one. Yeah, I mean, somebody got to get something. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. So somebody got to get something. You know what I'm saying? But if I got a scholarship and this for my family, so I mean, I gotta. Hey, I mean, I got to catch you later on, man. That's a real game.
No, that's what the older you think.
Nah, a few of my sons had to, Tommy. A few of my sons had to.
Nigga, y'all be stop. Why y'all doing? Listen, bro, I ain't never.
I'm straight from St. Louis, Missouri, brother.
Lou, I ain't never.
You ain't letting no white people talk.
I ain't never been punched.
I know you lying now, Lou.
Yo, y'all gotta chill. I ain't never been punched in the back of my head ever, nigga. All right. I'm not running from nothing. Fuck it. Like especially as a kid. Come on, man. Nigga, that shit is not happening, bro.
This man is from St. Louis. Nigga, stop.
Nigga just talking about. Nigga just especially white.
Did you when you came
it's back? A law. It's a law.
I can't tell about how I was.
Listen. Here's what we know. It's a law in every black place in America that you can't lose a fight to a white boy. Y'all know that.
Period.
So y'all know you're not nobody getting up and like, oh, I'm out. Come on, man. We know that's not the vibe. That's
but
you know, white
losing
boy.
a fight. You damn sure ain't getting punked by one. That's
that's what I'm saying.
Just come back to my block talking about this white
Nigga
boy
ain't
talking to
Harriet
you like
Tubman.
that.
The fuck? That's the first thing to go to
All right, let me get Uncle Rick. What's poppin'?
What's good, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How's everything?
Everything's everything, man. You
What's
know how
up, Rick?
trying to get through this week. What's popping, yo? Tommy, EBD, Will, Lou, Keith, man. Everybody talk about what they would do, right? But that don't change the fact of what happened. It don't change the fact what happened, right? This boy's life is over, whether y'all like it or not. Y'all can sit up here and play the rigmarole. And this was weird to me, right? Y'all understand that white supremacy is an issue, that the system is an issue, but y'all looking for the black boy to get equal treatment in a system that y'all say that's not even. All y'all lawyers now, but y'all know that once that black boy walk in there with that young nigga haircut, he gonna get judged. It ain't about what's right or wrong. What's wrong is he overreacted.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? Do y'all believe whatever y'all believe happened? Do y'all believe that was a reasonable reaction?
Nah, I feel like he could have threw them hands first. The hands should have been thrown first for sure.
Right? What y'all? Let's set the baseline, and I'll leave y'all with this. Let's say y'all just want the brother get off because crackers got off.
I don't think I'm saying I want him to get off. I don't think I want to get the book thrown at him. You feel me? That's
the same thing. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. If we're being honest, that's the same thing.
We'll get the first time.
So, Rick,
I want him actually kind of seen as we see it as a kid that made a mistake and not a kid that purposely did something. That's where I'm at. I don't want him to look as literally went there to think that. That's all.
I hear you, right?
Yeah.
But we men, let's be honest, right? We're men, right? We say on this very panel, it's not what happens, it's how you react to it, right?
Right.
We say on this very panel as men that every fight's not worth fighting, right? Ain't that what we
say?
Right. Again, I'm gonna ask y'all the question, right? Was this a reasonable reaction?
No.
It's grown men. Hell no, it ain't.
I don't want to say it was. I can't answer that.
No.
Only because he has a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know
that's what he's talking about. He's what he's talking about. He's not talking about reacting.
If they were physically trying to put their hands on
everything,
then yeah. But I mean, if it, that one-on-one shit, no.
So Rick, I agree with you.
It wasn't worth.
I agree with you that it's unreasonable. The reason why I keep pointing out Texas is because Texas is the main state that are proud that you are able to overreact to shit. That's why I brought up the property thing. If you're on my property, they proudly let you know. If you don't get off, I can get you out of here with no problems. That to me is an overreaction just because I'm on your property. This is what, so you got to remember, this is the environment that they grow up in. Because when I lived down there, that was understood. You on somebody's property and they tell you to get off and you don't get off, you out of there. In where I came from, that would be looked at as an overreaction. They actually look at our laws in California as pussy because we don't agree with that.
Yep.
That's the environment he's growing up in. So I agree with you. It's overreaction.
California got its own problems, Tommy. Let's be honest.
No. But what I'm saying is, 100%. But what I'm saying is,
here's the thing though. California, you don't have the duty to retreat in California either. I looked it up yesterday. You don't have to retreat in California.
Yeah, you don't have to retreat, but they got this new shit. Like they even said, like if somebody come in your house, you got to do everything you possibly can before you can dump on them. Listen, y'all see me on the news before you see me do that shit. You're out of here, buddy. But I'm just saying, that's the environment that not just the white folks grew up in. Everybody grew up in Texas.
We can't even carry our guns.
If you talk to somebody that's native, who can?
Nigga, in California, we over there concealed. You already know we are concealed.
Boy, you out your mind. You better go look at your laws. It's only a misdemeanor if it's legally yours. Trust. No. So if you talk to anybody in Texas, that's almost what they stamp for that state. They almost promote it. You get what I'm saying? So again, I agree with you. It's overreaction, and that's why I agree with Fantastic's point of view because he's looking at it from the point of view of the jury, and I already know he's cooked. You get what I'm saying?
I wanted to answer his question directly now that I had a little time to process the question. What did he act unreasonably? And from my standpoint, is no. Given the context of what people are able to get away with when it comes to black young teenagers or boys or even grown men, the violence that we've had to witness and suffer again and again on the television and all types of media, and how people are just walking away without being charged or without being arrested. And then when we do see them put through the system, they come out on the other side making claims of self-defense and fear of life. If the understanding is that you wake up every day and you could actually be confronted by a random white person that can take your life because they have a system behind them that can defend their rights as humans to exist wherever they are, then that gives them a sense of entitlement to just bully anybody they want, physically assault anybody they want. And if you're operating under that context, what he did, I think, was rational. I don't think it was irrational at all to take out a weapon and stab him and then run. No, I believe that was a response to both physical confrontation and violence, which is both fight and flight. Those are two things that happen. You're going to either fight or you're going to run, right? You do either or, but sometimes we do both.
Uncle Rick, question.
Yes.
Have you gotten a direct response to your commentary?
No, sir.
Can you lay it out one more time?
My question is this, right? From the event, again, stop assuming. You make an ass out of everybody, not just yourself, right? The information you know is this, right? They were under a tent, clearly marked an opposing team school. I have been to hundreds of high school events, right? And if I'm being totally honest with y'all, if a kid is bringing a weapon to a school, right? I don't want to hear the shit people talking about like he's a goddamn, and excuse my language, right? I'm trying to work on that he's a goddamn Boy Scout and got a knife on him. You understand what I'm saying? If a person has a weapon on it, I don't care what y'all try to use that. It's a tool because it's under such. Everybody know a knife cuts. You can buck 50 anything, right? At a high school event where people are coming to see their children compete, right? Their families, their friends. If there's a child with a weapon, it's only one or two reasons. He's looking for a problem or he's had a problem with somebody. Is that fair?
To be honest with you, no. Like, and I'm being real with you, Rick. Like, some kids carry knives just to carry knives. Like, I'm being funky with you. And especially, again, I'll go back to you, in Texas. Like, that culture down there is different. But no, I've known people that just carry knives to do dumb shit, just to be curious, just to have one.
It's a problem.
Hey, Uncle Rick, you mean to tell me when you were younger, you ain't never have a knife just for no reason?
No.
I got a cut on my finger right now from playing with a knife because the motherfucker snapped on my finger.
Knives. I mean, from people got knives from their cousins and everything. You mean to tell me you just ain't never seen no knife when you was younger?
You asked me the question, right?
Yeah.
If I had a knife ever, the answer is no. Right? So again, listen to what I'm saying. This is not personal, everybody. Let's have a conversation, right? Yeah. You are answering from your perspective. Your perspective doesn't mean it's right? Yeah. It's just the way you see things. Again, me as a responsible adult that's responsible for a wife and children and grandchildren and community, right? If I'm here at an event, right? Even I got the blamer. Come on now, this is America. We ain't stupid, right? My gun stay in the car. This is a high school event, right? And these are kids. So a kid that's coming there with a weapon, no matter what y'all say, we all understand that it's a weapon. He either one, listen to what I'm saying, has a problem with somebody or is looking to cause a problem.
Okay, Rick. Look at your chin.
That ain't what I'm.
The reason. Hold on.
Can't agree with
because what we have to do and what we often do is look at it through the eyes of us now. 17-year-olds do goofy shit. I think I was 12 when I found my brother 380. and I was running around with that motherfucker. I wasn't looking for problems. I was a goofy fucking little kid that found it, and I was running around with it. I wasn't looking for something to happen. I didn't necessarily have some kind of beef. Oh shit, a 380, boom, and I'm running around with it. I'm being honest with you. Kids do goofy shit. So what I'm saying is, everything you said is correct. As a grown-ass man, they got a wife to look after, they got kids to look after. When you're talking about a 17-year-old, 16, whatever, that's just a goofy, most of the time when we're those ages, if we find a nice one, oh shit. The first time I remember I got one of those knives because we went to the liquor store. That's when they start selling them. Oh shit, I just bought one. Just to buy one, just to have one. It wasn't I mean, let's keep it real. If you're in Texas, you might want to have a thumper over the knife. So I get where you're coming from, and I think in a lot of situations you are correct, but I think in a lot of situations as a 17-year-old goofy, or even just to feel a little tougher or something, but I don't think that you're necessarily seeking out trouble or something like that.
I would have to agree, because had the homeboy been left alone, there is no stabbing, there is no incident, there is no conflict. If he brought the knife 20 games, 30 games, or 2 years, or however long he's had the knife, he's never obviously gone around bullying people or waving it around or brandishing it and talking smack and threatening people with it. If he had a history of threatening and using this knife, this weapon, versus everybody, he would be known as that dude, and he would be dealt with accordingly. If nobody knew he had a knife, then he's not announcing it. He's not Mr. I got a knife and I'll cut you with it. He's not Mr. Anything. He wasn't Mr. Anything until somebody else came to his space. That's when he became Mr. Knife.
Exactly.
So again, let's baseline it. Let's baseline it, right? So
if he had fuck on him, it'd be terrible too, huh?
That's a good thing. That's a good question, though, EBD.
But that's what I'm saying. If we're looking at it, if we want to, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
So what's the equivalent of this then? The question I got asked for y'all, right? So if you're sitting somewhere that you shouldn't be, right? You're at a basketball game and someone's sitting in your seat, and you ask them to move, and they don't move, and you touch them on the arm, is it okay for them to stab you?
No. Well, hold on, wait. So, and maybe y'all heard this part, I didn't know. Did his friend go to that school under the tent or not? Because I thought his friend called him over, and that's why he was under there.
Mm-hmm. His friend didn't say nothing. Again, that's irrelevant.
No. What I'm telling you is, if my friend goes to your school and he says, "Hey, come here," and I'm under the tent because my homeboy goes to the same school as you, then it's not like I just randomly went under your tent.
I hear you, Tommy, but I don't want to do that, because then I got to look at this man with jaded glasses on. Because then why didn't you say my friend said I could sit here?
I mean, again,
that would have squashed the whole thing. Wait. That's actually a rational answer. Like, what are you doing here? The answer is, oh yeah, I got my friend that comes to school here. That actually squashes the whole thing.
Again, us as grown men that handle these situations.
Nope, I'm gonna take your shit, Tommy. Teenagers.
No, listen to what I'm saying, Rick.
He's saying
us as grown men looking at that
that
situation are gonna say what we should or would or could have done completely different than when I was 17. I do not act the same. Yeah. Y'all would think I was an idiot if I did. So when
times I should have been wrong. Yeah, I should have been wrong. I should never say a lot of shit. I should have yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, guys. Y'all got to listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, my bad.
This is what I'm saying, right? We cannot absolve him of not moving correctly. That means somebody not doing their job as a parent or a father, giving this young man instruction of what's going on.
Who's not moving correctly?
But what about he just
wait, hang on. I'm a serious question. Hold up. I'm asking a question. Who was not moving correctly?
The kid with the knife.
The kid with the knife. Okay. Why was he not moving correctly? Simply because
he shouldn't have had the damn knife.
Okay. he's
And then
allowed.
on school property, you definitely shouldn't have had.
Okay, look, you're allowed, but everything he's done is legally acceptable. I think that's what Ham
But
went
you're
through,
not
right?
supposed to have a weapon on school property.
Hang
I don't
on.
give a damn what-
Apparently, in the state of Texas, you can.
It's
You
irrelevant.
can. Everything
That's
he did was legally allowed.
irrelevant.
Hold up, man. Hold up. You're
There's
saying
no
you're saying
school that I've ever heard of that says that a child.
It don't matter what you heard of, bro.
Listen. Kids shouldn't have. Wait a minute. Kids shouldn't have access to firearms, but they
I
do.
don't care what you worked in. We looked it up. He was legal.
He was legal. He was legally able to carry that knife
He
on
don't
school
even have
grounds.
a
He was
charge.
legally within his. Hang on.
property.
Yes, we
William,
looked it up, Mr. Williams. We
He
did.
don't even have a charge for carrying it.
So what he did was within legal bounds,
Texas
right?
is different. I think y'all need to understand. Texas is different, dog.
So
they're
if he's
different down there.
Because I'm in a Commonwealth state.
What I'm trying to ask is, if he's within the law and his rights to carry that knife and not cause an incident, where is he wrong, Mr. Uncle Rick?
Stab the shit out of somebody.
Again, my question, to answer your question, he's wrong because he overreacted.
You said he was wrong because he shouldn't have had the knife, or
no,
he was carrying the knife.
Don't put words.
No,
in my
I'm just listening to what you just said. You said
no,
people who have knives are either looking for trouble or they had a problem.
Hold on. You're trying to move the conversation. I'm not trying to push your agenda off on nobody. Listen to what I am saying and remove your bias for 2 fucking seconds, please. Not trying to be rude, right? I understand what y'all are saying is the way what's legally acceptable in Texas. Listen to what I'm saying. Let's acknowledge that. What Tommy is saying is true. Texas is different. They have different laws when it comes to standing your ground. So can we get that out the way so we can stop coming back to this? Right?
Yeah.
What I'm asking you is this, right? I don't care what you believe. What I'm asking you is this a reasonable response?
No.
That's what I'm asking y'all, right?
But
So,
and you know what, Rick?
Tommy, give me a second, bro. Give me a second, right? And what I'm saying is this. What's going to happen to these young men is going to happen, right? It's already done. What I'm saying again is this. The lesson shouldn't be taught that we're in Texas and if somebody touches you, you can juke them. That's not the correct lesson, right? The correct lesson that we preach on these panels every day, 365 days, when we talk about men being responsible, right, is to think in the moment and move accordingly. Just because he get away with it doesn't make it correct. It doesn't make it right. And I'm gonna use the examples of the Zimmermans, and they was wrong too. They just happened to get off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Rick, I would also say I wouldn't tell my kid that if he end up in a situation, somebody's under the tent to put their hands on him. But me as a 42-year-old, that's how I see it. Me as a 17-year-old, I might have pushed a nigga too.
And again, right? If they're young, right? And you might have pushed the dude, right? Is it a reasonable reaction for him to stick you?
No, but it's also not a reasonable reaction to push him when he wouldn't get from under your tent.
But Tommy, listen to what I'm saying. We cannot use the excuse, right, that kids are going to fight and push and mush, and then say unaliving a person is an unreasonable reaction. We have a contradiction, right? We have a contradiction, right? What are we teaching? What are our young men learning? What's being taught to them for him to react like this, right? And I totally agree with the point of what, and I put it in the chat, what Hamp said. Y'all better pray there was no bullying if y'all rooting for this young man, because that means this act will be premeditated.
What?
I don't feel like
I don't see that at all. I don't see that at all. Like here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing. Hang on. I heard everything, Rick. Here's my response.
Hang
on. Let me just respond to what he said directly, please. Just for a minute. What I'm hearing and what I'm hearing you say about this incident is that the lesson should be for young men, you know, our 17-year-old men that are coming up behind us from this incident, is that you shouldn't have reacted this way when someone does something to you just because they put their hands on you. that doesn't give you the right or to respond in such a manner to where you can use a deadly weapon and then, you know, do like this person did, right? I hear that. What I am not hearing is the fact that we're not addressing the source of the issue, which is the person who confronted and caused this issue in the first place, the aggressor. What I'm hearing is no matter what incident played out, this man who had a weapon is the aggressor by default. Like he was looking for smoke and that he just needed to be provoked the right way in order to stab somebody when that is not the history of this young man. Nobody knew he had a weapon. The weapon was never used or brandished before. He doesn't have a history or known or flag or tag or YouTube of me being the guy with the weapon. Don't mess with me. This is an incident in response to violence. And nobody can predict or Monday morning quarterback your response to violence. When it happens in real time, you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what they're going to do. All you know is something happens and takes place, and we can just rewind the tape after. So we can say, oh, well, his response to stabbing someone is unreasonable. Of course you weren't there, and of course you're not 17, and of course you're not in his shoes. And the context is empty. Hang on, the context is completely empty of that. What we're asking is for this 17-year-old to have enough adult and consequential mindset to say that, yeah, even though I have a knife, I shouldn't use it. Even though I'm being threatened, I shouldn't respond. We're asking of him to remove human responses, normal human responses, and placing this adult maturity on this young man who's a 17-year-old kid who's being bullied, telling someone trying to dominate and control somebody's space. He's out there doing nothing. He's not bullying and doing anything to anybody with that knife. Never, nothing, nada. He's not disturbing anyone's peace. He wasn't disturbing anybody. He was minding his own business and was approached and confronted with violence. And what you want to do is convict the victim of violence by saying, well, he should have responded this way. And you can't do that. We can't say whether or not he acted unreasonably. You weren't there. And it didn't happen to you.
Real quick. Anybody, and we got to think about too, because, and we got to be real about stuff too, because even I kind of wanted to go against Mr. Fantastic when he said that too, because I watched Mr. Fantastic and I know one thing he says: if you touch me, and he plays his video, his nigga Bone Thugs, he plays Bone Thug shit. He as a grown man today, sensible and all, got all the kids, got a career and everything. He said if a man touches him, he will make sure he does it. So I feel, so when you think about a 17-year-old that don't have even the knowledge, that's where I'm a little bit off at. That's where I'm like, that's why it goes back to what I'm saying is, I don't feel like he should be getting a thought of murder. I don't think he thought to murder the man or unalive the kid. I think he meant to just literally get him away from him. And it so happily got him in the wrong place. And that's where that happens at. So that's where, like I said, you know, I don't think he's a perfect person, because I mean, you take somebody's life, you got some consequences that does have to come with it. But I don't feel like he should be losing all his life as well for him trying to, at least with his mindset, think he's protecting himself. And that's
so. I'll ask you this, Rick: if he punched him, would you think that would be appropriate reaction to that getting pushed?
If the white boy punched him?
No, if the black dude punched him after he got pushed.
If the black boy pushed him after he got punched.
If the black dude punched the white dude after he got pushed, would that be an appropriate reaction?
Response?
Yeah.
Nope, I think you owe everybody a warning shot.
Okay.
That's how people get killed like that. That's how people get killed. That's how situations get, through the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, me speaking on, I've been a little guy all my life, and I mean, shit, yeah. If I'm in school, if I'm approached by some cats and I got a weapon, I mean, my mama, and everybody told me they told me to use it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna say it's gonna be my first thing to do, but if you get close enough and I'm in the corner, then I got to go home. You know what I'm saying?
It's not gonna be your first thing to do, right?
It's gonna be on my mind.
No, don't. You just don't need to do that because you just said that, right? It's not gonna be your first thing to do, right? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, my first thing to do is to make sure that not to be on me like that. But I mean, if you get too close, I mean, what can I do? I'm not trying to go to the hospital because you feel some type of way.
So
I mean, either way.
No, I got you. You good, Luke. You good, Luke. And let me tell y'all, this is my thought process, right? We got two scenarios that can play out. Scenario number one, that this was totally random, right? That this was a totally random situation, right? Let's go with that. If somebody's sitting somewhere, you don't know them, they wasn't supposed to be there, most people's general response is to what?
Ask them to move.
Right? You wasn't supposed to be here. Why are you here, my boy? Right? And again, I'm a logical person. I'll use the standard example. Like, if my friend was in here, what you want? My boy right there, he said I can come over here. Right? Right. So if someone was sitting in my seat, right, or I was sitting in somebody's seat and I was, hey, what you doing in here? Move. Touch me and watch what I do. If I'm sitting in a seat, right, at the Lakers game or the Minnesota, touch me and see what I do. I mean, I'm in the wrong place, right? I'm not bothering nobody, right? I'm at my own peace. I'm not hurting nobody, but I'm in somebody's seat. You in the wrong seat, Rick. Touch me and see what I'll do. Is that the appropriate response?
No, but what happened at this time?
You're in somebody else's seat.
Move. You know,
this isn't bad.
You in somebody's area, right?
If it's just then it's just worry. But I mean, if they touch you like, hey, you got to move. I mean, then what? Then how you feel then?
Now, yeah, Rick. So why you didn't go get the person? Why you didn't get the attendant? We got to understand. Like, we missing steps. Well, you took it in your hands. You took it in your hands.
That's what I'm saying,
to take a property, to move somebody out of a property that's not yours.
But that's what I'm saying.
We got to put everything in order.
Yeah, but Key, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Key. Like, we can only analyze the situation. I'm saying what's reasonable in this situation, right? Again, I ask HAMP again. Like, when did opposite teams, right, start sitting under each other's tent?
Track meets, they all mingle. Track meets, we all mingle. We mingle at track meets for sure.
I'm gonna use the excuse y'all use. That's what happened when you was little, not now, right?
I go to track meets. I see them all mingling together. I don't know what track
but
meets.
that's what I'm saying. Key. I'm not trying to attack you, right? I'm just trying to attack your point, right?
I don't feel attacked at
this
all.
Is what I'm saying. We got to make sense of the thinking, right? What's reasonable? No matter what y'all say, I understand the way you can look at it, but it wasn't a reasonable situation, right? That's all I'm saying. Y'all can look. Your perspective is your perspective. I don't care. What I'm saying is, EBD, is that I'm not trying to justify a young man acting unreasonably. I don't care who it is, white or black. It was an unreasonable response to a stimulus. It was unreasonable.
What was the stimulus?
Him asking him to move.
He didn't ask.
Move. What difference it makes?
He physically accosted this man. He physically accosted this man. This is what I'm saying.
Bring it down.
You got it. DJ
Let's organize it.
Have a good one, man. I gotta finish my work. Have a good one, y'all. Be easy.
No doubt.
Well,
so to organize the conversation, the boy, FP, who knows both of them, said that they were arguing back and forth. He didn't say specifics of what they said, so there was certainly a conversation. And then he said Austin grabbed him, and then that's when he stabbed him. So he kind of condenses it. Another witness that's unnamed, well, they're both unnamed, I just saw the initials, said that touch me and see what happens. He had more of the verbiage. He had the quote of touch me and see what happens and the paraphrase of punch me and see what happens. So that's what was happening, in that instance, right? If they're having a back and forth, they don't go to the same schools. Am I allowed to tell you to get out my tent? Or if I do, am I automatically a bully in that instance?
I feel like you are. I feel like you
Be careful with fear. What do you think?
No, what I think, I'm trying I feel like not a bully. I wouldn't feel like you're a bully, but I'm like, Like, what would be my like you a temp monitor kind of nigga? Like you a temp monitor? Like you like that's kind of like more of not a bully, but who are you to tell me I can't sit here? Where honestly, as teenagers, we all know only person that can tell me something is my mother, my father, and a teacher. Let's be real. Not nobody that's the same as person as me. That's
So
what
I ain't gonna lie. If I have a tent up and I walk over and there's people from the other team sitting under there, I'm like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
Mm-hmm.
We got bags under there, right? Every time you go run or throw, I leave my phone, I leave my wallet. You with the little tie bags that you got that you pull the string and it closes up. You got all that shit under a tent. When you look up at the tent, you want to see motherfuckers because you got your belongings. I'm just thinking about back when then.
Yeah. Big fact.
So now you just got a random person. I'm like, if I saw random people, I'm like, what you doing over here, bro?
But you say random person or random people? Because people is plural and a person is just standing there versus a person. Because if it's a person,
people,
like I don't respond to like if like in your situation, like I'm not like I wouldn't respond to people like that, right? People standing under the tent, 5, 6 of them or whatever. They're from a different school. I mean, I guess I'm different like that. When you're 17 and you got these like sports and stuff, people know each other from different high schools because of those teams and competitions that they often see each other. So there's some kind of familiarity. I can see why the initials of whoever kind of knew them both, whether loosely or not, because it's a school event, right? But when we're talking about someone who quote unquote doesn't belong, like it's not I have to have some kind of sense of entitlement. Walk up and approach a person and to say, I want you to leave this area simply because.
Yo, so I ain't gonna lie. If I was in high school and I walked up to that tent, to be 100% candid, it wouldn't have mattered who said he could sit there. I would have been like, fuck you doing under here, my nigga. It's a competition at that. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, we from a different school.
Are we talking about track meets, man? Cause you like football players, you got the mindset. Track meets, nigga, everybody
Football
about the
players
females.
run
Come on,
track.
bro.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Football
we
players
might
run
try to
track.
holler at the girls, but they are not
Football
allowed
players run the
to
track.
be
But I'm
around
saying
us.
when you're in a track atmosphere, everybody trying to hop on the chicks.
still
Like
not
it's a
allowed to be
vibe in a track meet. That's the most friendliest
I don't
competition.
know. Maybe I just can't remember it correctly, but
I get where you're coming from, Key, but when it comes to certain shit, like I told
I'm saying track meets are the most funnest competition to be at to play against somebody.
Yeah, but everybody's not gonna get along anyway.
Track sucks.
And I said it a couple of days ago.
Be Sammy with the 2010.
That shit was killer.
I'm glad you called him out. That's bullshit. OG Lou Hefner know he ain't going for none of that shit, bro. Come on. The 20 ball says EBD for president. He will cook. Keep your hands to yourself. And everyone should donate to Lil Bro Defense. Great panel, DJ HAMP. My brother. Be Sammy with the $5 says EBD with the flawless victory. Perfect. Matreon with the 20 ball. The 20 ball says we don't know if he had said during the back and forward. And Carmelo,
the argument.
We don't know what he said during the back and forth, and Karmelo gave him a warning. Man, I wish everybody was kind of here when I was going over the statutes and everything, because the statutes read in a particular way. So, words in Texas aren't provocation on their face. But if the words incite violence and then you enact the violence after you committed the word offenses, then you can't use a self-defense claim. Because in the self-defense statute, it says explicitly you can't provoke the person you didn't try to claim self-defense against. So that's what it said in the Texas law statute, right?
Yeah, they have to be attacking you or whatever 100%, and you defend yourself.
That's going to be something that they're going to have to mine through. Dr. G, what up?
Hey, y'all. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Chad, and everybody who is in earshot, right? So I just want to add just a little bit that I haven't heard actually said. I want us to remember as parents and folks who are responsible for young people in these public schools to hold them accountable for the safety and well-being of your children when they are in their custody or in their presence, right? And I said this in the Discord. The schools are responsible for supervision, right? At track meets, football games, baseball games, dance competitions, art contests, whatever it is. And I'm speaking from experience because that's my line of work, right? We would not have a track meet where there wouldn't be supervision and, you know, to have somebody on a side to say, hey, I'm sorry, this isn't your tent. Can you go back to your side? Or this isn't where you're supposed to be. I'm gonna need you to go over here. And that's why supervision is necessary for things like this. The little girl that just got the brakes beat off of her in a classroom, right? By the boy. Where was the supervision? Where are the adults in these instances where these things go so tragically wrong? Sure, adults make mistakes. They're not omniscient. They don't have eyes in the back of their head, so to speak. But I'm saying to the point where, you know, someone has fatally been injured or someone is beat up so badly, where's the supervision? Parents, please step to these schools, hold these principals and these leaders accountable for protecting your children when you are not there. It's a law. It's called in loco parentis. They are responsible for the well-being of your children in your absence. Okay, and we have to hold them accountable for that.
It's a track meet, Dr. G. The coaches over there coaching.
I'm talking about supervision. You have, so when I was an assistant principal, we had to be at track meets. We had to be down on the field ensuring that nobody.
Doing nothing but flirting.
That ain't true. That ain't true. Hey,
yes, it is.
When you take your job seriously, when you know things can go wrong, when something can happen at a split second with kids, you know, you got to be on your job.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't leave them by their own vices. That's the one thing about the board of education.
It keeps happening over and over again with the situation with the little girl in the classroom. Now, you know, it should have been an adult in that classroom. There is no excuse for that, right?
Listen, man, I'm trying to tell you, y'all don't be doing shit. I heard a bunch of teachers talking, right? It was a bunch of them. They were talking about how they can't stand the kids. They finesse their paperwork. They did like, yo, it's regular people that are teachers. It ain't teachers that are teaching, man.
Oh yeah,
It's
God.
people looking
So,
for a paycheck.
here's the thing.
Let me explain this to you before you cut me off, right? I know, you know.
Well, somebody else.
Y'all won the Del Field Day. Now they just cut me off. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, no big deal. I ain't gonna tell nobody else. There's only 500 people here.
Don't make me choke on my coffee, man.
So I forgot what I was gonna say. Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, you know, so those who can't do teach. You ever heard that?
That's foul.
But you know what the derivative is, right? That's actually derived from the people that can't do the job they want to do become teachers.
Wow.
And look at the decline in the schools. Teachers are teaching to a test. They ain't teaching for the kids to understand. And I seen teachers. I seen moms as a football coach running over to my truck as opposed to paying attention to their kids. Because they wanted something else.
That's dirty, Hamp.
And I'm a 4.
That's dirty, Hamp.
I was just in a little bit of shape, so I was like a 4.5.
Is that majority or minority?
Majority.
No.
So I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you out, but I do need to respond.
Go ahead, Dr. G.
So as a teacher who always wanted to be a teacher, I highly disagree. Okay. That's a minority of folks that you're talking about. Most of us go into the profession because we love children and
stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I cannot. Help. My point is still the same. Whether they are poor teachers or great teachers, they have a job to do, and supervision at these events is the job.
I know. I'm just telling you what they
Parents,
don't be doing.
go
That's
to the
all.
school and tell them, you better be making sure my kid is protected when they in your custody, period. Hold them accountable. The school is culpable. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the school gonna get sued for sure. The city gonna get sued.
To respond to that though, when we're dealing with high school boys, they're not gonna fight in an area where the adults are gonna be there. Two boys who really get into it with each other at the spur of the moment, they'll be like, "Yo, dude, I'll meet you over here. I'll meet you in the lot, or we'll take it there." You know what I mean? That's two boys with a confrontation that are looking to fight. You know, hands on hands. They usually know how to avoid adults. That's how most fights happen in high school.
But
that didn't happen here. That didn't happen here. But I'm just saying.
Or at least it won't go so far. At least it won't
It wouldn't go so far.
escalate
It wouldn't go so far. Yeah,
Hey,
right.
let's keep it real on one thing though. These kids can't fight nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. You know
I don't know,
they don't
man.
know how to fight nowadays. So
I can't say
all
that.
all that fundamentals and shit, they don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about it. The first thing they know
agreed.
about is
That's
how to
agreed.
stab something. They know about something that's on the video game. They know about some tech and shit. They know about Call of Duty.
Gentlemen, I just wanted to, I'm going to leave it to y'all, gentlemen. I just wanted to add that aspect, even though HAMP totally dismantled what I was trying to say. Y'all get the point, right? So I'm going to leave it to y'all.
Teachers are great.
Have a
We need
wonderful
them.
afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes,
HAMP,
ma'am.
next time I see you, we going to duke it out for that one. That was wrong.
I got you, man. I've been beat up before, Dr. G. Be safe.
What
I said Tuesday.
Get together. What you trying to do?
These little niggas fight nowadays. I'm saying it's messed
What
up.
the next field day y'all having and shit? Cause that shit like it was a vibe. I ain't gonna lie. I was watching on the live and
It'd
shit.
be in a few months, man. I gotta recover from, you know what I mean? But
I got you.
let me ask y'all, man. Before I get up out of here, what do you think is gonna be the outcome in the case, Key? Not what you feel, based on what you know, based on the statutes, based on the burdens of proof. What do you think is gonna be the outcome?
All the information right now, he's gonna get he's gonna get some serious time. I don't know if he's gonna get the full time, but he's gonna get some serious time.
You think he's gonna get a murder charge or a manslaughter charge?
I think with if we talking about just laws of how the laws, how that's set up right there, he might get a murder charge, but hopefully murder 2, not murder 1.
What you think, Lou?
Say again.
What you think? You all the facts that you heard, remove the feelings, look at the case law. What do you think? He getting a murder charge or he gonna skate manslaughter? What you think?
He gonna get manslaughter.
What if he don't qualify for manslaughter?
Well, I mean they gonna try to hit him on that with the first time felon. He gonna get manslaughter with that.
Man, you think they gonna give him first time felon privileges with a body?
He might. I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's always possible. I know people that went through it. I know people that people with no bare knuckle, and then people just hit their head on the curb and died. A week later, they got manslaughter.
No, I get that, right? Texas put more people to death than all the other states combined.
Now Mississippi.
Okay, Mississippi got a lot.
Not Louisiana.
I don't know. Texas be putting niggas up real
that
quick.
motherfucker.
I mean, they want to though, but I mean, it's a possibility either way. I mean, but he definitely he's not gonna get no good end of the stick though for damn sure. I mean, because it's more like, you know, with a knife. I mean, he could pop it. You know, it's all premeditated. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's different than people just fighting him and then he just coming out, you know, doing it like that when on the ground. It's different. Nah, he did this off of being, you know, going through too much aggression with him. So yeah, he gonna get cooked.
Yeah,
he might as well gonna relax and gonna get him some raw maneuvers and you know, get his commissary and shit together. Go ahead and chill.
Them some soups.
Hey, he better go and get that law library together.
Mr. Williams, what you think? What you think the outcome gonna be knowing what you know now?
But I know now he's looking at probably manslaughter. I think he'll get the max on a manslaughter charge.
Were y'all here for the earlier show?
Missed a little bit. I was in and out.
You talking about today?
Yeah,
I heard
voluntary manslaughter is hot-blooded, though. So voluntary manslaughter in Texas is hot-blooded, meaning passion.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
meaning passion. Yeah, so like in the heat of a moment, something happens, a person dies. Right?
So maybe second degree then.
Then he probably would get second degree murder.
But I don't think they're gonna hit him with the first.
I think they would hit him with 30 to life.
Oof, that life one. I don't want to hear that life part. That's the deadly part.
Well, 30 is life in most states. If they say life, that means 30 years.
But you gotta do, if you do 30, you gotta do what not the whole 30 though. Normally, you got at least
Federal law is 85%.
Yeah, 85% is federal.
Federal law is 85%.
Cases they
But
got.
he's 17 though too. Think about it. I mean, that's 40. That's 50 years old. So I mean, technically, that's a lot of time. You know,
But to be honest, they may give him life in prison now.
That's murder one.
Looking at what you was reading earlier, and I'm thinking about everything, they probably will give him life.
He just
I don't think they'll give him the death penalty, but I think they'll give him life.
Give the death penalty, yeah, sure.
He just stabbed the football player, a white football player. It's over. He just stabbed a great white hope. They ain't gonna let that. Boy, I'm telling you, George Bush and them gonna be up there. Dang, it's gonna be fucked up. I'm telling you.
What you think, EBD?
I mean, the result's gonna be what it's gonna be, but
no, I didn't. I
know. I'm just saying. I'm just precursing that. Like, no matter what we guess, right? But he ain't walking away from it. He ain't. I mean, no amount of defense, no matter what the variables are, no matter how we look at it, like no jury is gonna look at him and say, yeah, he was defending himself and had every right to, exist in a space. Nobody's gonna look at him and his rights and respect it or honor them. Not in any court system. So he will be in jail for a significant amount of time.
You think Mr. Fantastic?
Brother. So once again, after doing a little bit more research, Fantastic was right. The law about the knife is irrelevant now because it's still against school policy. You guys can look it up. Look it up. Frisco schools, public school systems rules. Knives, even pocket knives, are prohibited by students. He brought a knife to an official school event on school grounds. So now he's definitely getting manslaughter, but like what you're saying here, go to the statutes. I still don't think he'll get murder 1, but it may be 2 or 3. But so the fact that he should have had, even though from a legal standpoint, the knife may be within the parameters of the lengths, the school board policy for that county says that knives and all other weapons are prohibited by students. Clear as day. So that's going to play against him.
Well, that won't. Well, something's fantastic. That won't actually play against him. What that would play against if he was still going to school, he would be looking at expulsion or suspension from school policies. But the law is not going to be manipulated by what the school wants. So, like that's like saying on private property, like let's say at your house, you say we have automatic machine guns. But if I get arrested with that automatic machine gun, I'm going to jail for having a legal weapon. You see
what I'm saying is, even though it may be in legal points, that's what the prosecution is going to use as their basis for this was premeditated or planned, or he was looking for trouble.
You're saying they're gonna say he was willing to break school policy.
Yes, he came there. He know he's not supposed to have. He's an athlete. He's a student athlete, so he's used to the rules. He knows the rules. He knows he's not supposed to have a weapon. He brought a weapon specifically to that event, and you know what happened. So that's going to weigh against him heavily for the prosecution's argument.
Now, low-key, what EBD said though, my bad, Ham. But what EBD
said
too,
let me go. You already talked, right? I was just looking. Somebody got like they opening chips.
Blue, baby.
Everybody just mute. So, just looking at the statutes, man, I see what happened. I think he had that knife because he always had it on him. I think he got that little knife from somewhere and just got it on in his bag at all times. I think he knows it's there for the relevant reasons are why he knows it's there. I think that he has a future. He had a future, 3.7, 20 different offers. I don't think they were largely athletic, but just scholarship offers to somewhere, you know. I think that he's under that tent, you know, with his mans, and he gets confronted by one of these uppity ass crackers who acting like his shit don't stink, right? The boy who got stabbed was, you know, voted team captain, and he got the award for student athlete, right? All his parents said he a leader. Austin's the one that's gonna speak up. So what that means is Austin is an asshole, right? I think we understand that, you know. I may have even been called an asshole when I was his age. I was the peer mediator at my school. So two people fighting, like I might be there to break it up or some shit. And then we get in the room, it's me and them two. And I'm like, let me tell y'all niggas something, bro. I got AP fucking calculus. If I gotta come out here for y'all niggas again, when we get back around the way, we gonna fight for real. But they be young, right? I'm a senior, they like 9th grade. You know, they definitely don't want to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just know the vibrations. So he get under the tent. It's women there. It's raining there. Austin get up and say, move, with that fucking cowabunga voice, country ass hillbilly voice. And Karmelo from Louisiana, so he say in the up north tone, fuck out of here. Right? However they would say that in Louisiana. You know? I think the word exchange, I don't think anybody showed fear in the word exchange. I think fear is always an underlying vibration. Mike Tyson used to say it. He had fear every time he stepped in the ring, but you couldn't tell. But when it's beef for real, when it's about to go down, niggas be nervous. Niggas be scared. When you about to hop out in the ops and all, niggas be nervous. Niggas be scared. Niggas be shook. And you just hope you don't freeze. Right? But the fear isn't a controlling factor, but it's a factor always. So I can't use fear as a scapegoat, but I know it exists in all these situations. The knife was on his mind, no question. And he hesitated a couple times. Big ass white boy grab you in front of everybody, grab you by your shoulder, try to move you out the way. That's his option that he picks. You know? Most people go into their weapons, grown-ups especially. I don't think I'm gonna see a lot of grown men jumping out the car to have a fist fight. That's why road rage in Texas is so dangerous, because everybody's strapped. So you take that, a kid living in this environment, he going to his weapon too. But now what's the cost? Because now it falls down to intent, what you knew, what you didn't know. And that's where it gets muddy for boy. So in me assessing it, based on looking at the statutes specifically, right? I don't think, from what I gathered, it qualifies for manslaughter. I think that based on the statutes, he gonna get a murder charge. Because looking at what the confines are to qualify for manslaughter, I think he's just outside of them. And when you instantly yell out, I was defending myself, that gives people cause for pause. Little white boy or not, he don't need to lose his life like that. And then Carmelo Anthony, life is forever altered, even if he would have beat it. So I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because both of these boys, right, they come from decent backgrounds, and for all intents and purposes, they doing what kids do. I'm saying you got bullies. You got people who be bullying. You got people who, be tired of bullies, right? Shit like that. So I ain't seeing nothing but young boys with full of testosterone, bravado, and sperm. I don't think it's a racial thing. I think it's young boys acting like young boys. I think that we add the racial component because it gives us a low way to include ourselves. And I think the systemically is racist in several different parts, which is why that component when it's inserted, it's not disingenuous. Because we've seen disparate treatment in the system. So it just the boys themselves, but then when you add it to the system, those components start to factor in. Because when you select a jury of your peers, they're going to be selected from Frisco. Frisco's 50% white, 30% Asian, 10% black, 10% Mexican, right? So you're subject to that peer group. So you're going to have a disparity in who you think may represent your sentiments. But when you subject yourself to it, that's what you're subjecting yourself to. I picked a jury once. You go to a mechanism called voir dire, and each side has eliminations. So quite literally, I'm looking at that side, say, eliminate that hillbilly right now. And then they saying, eliminate Bonquisha right now. Right? And based on the pool, there's going to be a disparity. So that's my breakdown, man. We gonna see. We gonna see, bro. That shit ain't it. Shit is not funny though. It's not cool. You don't control your repercussions, boy. You put your hands on somebody, you don't control how they respond. You put your hands on somebody, you don't control how they respond, and they don't control what happens to them, large part, when they get in that system. Right? There's a whole lot of repercussions going down. There's a lot of things that I regret that I do again, though, that I got in trouble for. But you'd be surprised when you quiet in that cell clink and ain't nobody there but the orange drink, not orange juice, orange drink and a bologna sandwich. And you just be thinking. So
you got orange drink? Man, where the hell you? Where they
call that kidney shot?
I got milk. But anyway, can I ask you a question about the reasonableness? What do you think about the reasonableness about the response? Yeah.
About his response?
Yeah.
I just know when people have weapons, they bound to use them. They want to use them. I just know that if I get into something with somebody, I kind of expect them to use whatever they got. I understand that ain't no rules in the fight. There is no decorum, right? You fight to kill because people die by accident all the time. Ain't nobody fighting for fun. So when you take that into consideration, it seems extreme. But imagine punching somebody in their face, head, neck, balls, back, and you don't even know them. It's extreme in itself. Putting your hands on people you don't know. So you can't put nothing past nobody, man. That's kind of how I see it.
I always every time we talk about these issues, like I always want to flip the context. If I flip the context, do we have the same outcome? And we can always point to some real world example where that's not the case.
What do you mean? As I close
So
it up?
like every time we have any issue, like if Trayvon Martin this issue, I want to flip the context of the race of the victim or the perpetrator and find out, do we reach the same legal conclusions? Are the perceptions the same? Does the law and how it applies to that situation apply equally?
So you reach the same conclusion.
You do?
Right?
more black people kill white people than white people kill black people, right?
We reach different conclusions based on the result of the outcome of the criminal justice system when we watch individual incidents.
It's a two-part question though.
Hey, y'all, speaking on kids, I'm about to get to mine, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out of the chat.
You say, Blue?
All right.
So you get the same conclusions when we looked at George Zimmerman.
Yeah, but if you do,
Go ahead. You got a delay.
No, I was just saying, you do know that black people kill more white people than white people kill black people, right? You do know that, right?
I'm sorry, what? Black people kill more white people?
I said, yes. Yes.
So their population.
Why are you looking all befuddled? Yes.
There are millions of white. Hang on. There are millions of white people, all of them armed to the teeth with a military, nuclear weapons, tanks, bazookas. Hang on. I'm not done. 5,000 law enforcement, all of them strapped, all of them licensed by the state or federal government to take a human life or to remove someone's freedom off of the street and put them into a system or jail. So how exactly? We don't have any of that. We don't have a system that can, that allows us to take the human life of a white person and lock them up. We don't have law enforcement. We're not members of law enforcement, which has the ability and permission to take a human life or lock them up. So how is it even remotely possible that we are somewhat of a population out of an entire social group that have extreme violence toward one racial group that has every power in every position and every single weapon of human destruction possible?
What are you talking about?
Okay, that went over your head. That either went over your head or you cut out. I don't know. I don't know how you can even rationalize mathematically how can a small population be the most violent to a larger population that has a systemic control on everything that another population could or couldn't do. Is that over? Is that way over still? Is that like how is that possible?
EBD, I hate to admit this, brother, but we are more volatile to every race.
You say it again?
We are more
again. Look it up, bro.
I don't think so. I don't remember black people and dating.
I'm just gonna tell the truth. Yes, we are, man, because we will assault our own, and we do.
Wait a minute. Everybody assaults their own, Mr. Williams. Chinese on Chinese. So why is it special? Why is it special when we say black on black crime?
I don't know where you're going with this, man, 'cause you're making it hard.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but the truth is, right, when you look at volatility in the earth, it's never been close. So even if we had to play catch up, talking about we kill more white people, the amount of black people they killed since time immemorial, you ain't gonna be able to catch up to them.
Never. Not even close.
So
we don't have a history of 100 years of killing people.
You can't start counting when we want to, right?
Yeah.
If we talking about white people or black people kill more, you got to just start counting then.
Because I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, you can't just count when you feel like it, right? You can't. I can't start counting right now. I gotta start counting.
Forgot about slavery.
Yeah, you just gotta start counting then. Let's count then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been hearing, you know what? I've been hearing them say so much about we not back in the days of Earth, man. I done totally skipped that.
You have to disregard history in order to make a cheap point about our.
You just condense it down. Always saying just count. Just start counting, and then once you count, it's gonna be a landslide. It ain't gonna be close.
I had an old man moment, man.
No. Every argument you make, Mr. Williams, is not born out of nothing, right? Somebody somewhere before said it, somebody somewhere before heard it, and we get the narrative and the stereotypes begin. We're the most violent, yet we're what? We own what? We have control or mass of weapons of what exactly?
Well, look, what it is right? This disproportionately violent, I think, is the overarching sentiment.
Okay. Now, is that toward each other?
Huh?
Isn't that toward each other or like people who are not us?
People predominantly kill or do crime where they live at, right? But disproportionately violent, I think, is the sentiment, right? So we overrepresent in a lot of the numbers, but we don't have the numbers, so we'll do 30%, but we're only 14%. So those are the things, and we're not dismissing it that we don't need to address behavior, but I don't like the comparison, right? You know, so that I think that's the key. You know what I'm saying? Like we disproportionately do crime, right? So we need to address it. But there's also a nominal number of us doing crime, right? So 9,000 black men responsible for, 30% of the murders, but there's also 20 million of us, right? So
so the number,
right, 300,000 black people, 380,000 black people in jail. We still want to address it because that's 30% of the jail population, which is high because we're only 14% of the population itself. But it's 300,000 out of 46 million, right? So we allow the minority to represent the majority. But when you're talking about those demographics, yes, if we talk about those demographics, we got to do something about it. But when we look at the whole, it's still a small facet of us. Most of us just living and trying to get by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not portrayed on the media. On the media, it's portrayed that we're the ones who do the most crime because we're the most criminal. And our actions and behaviors, no matter how benign or whatever, we look for we always tend to look for criminality where there is none. While on the other side, where there is criminality, we hear all of the excuses in all of these laws or statutes or whatever it is that they got to say in order to excuse that criminal behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you would just be surprised, right? Numbers are used for specific purposes, right?
Right.
You know, so like for instance, I don't know. We just got to consider the numbers on their face and then use them genuinely, right? Like the fact that the volume of white people,
right?
Of course, they're killed more by police, right? There's 320 more million of them than us.
Right.
You know, so but then when we look at percentages, that's when you start to say, okay, what are we actually looking at? I just wanted to be consistent. So if you use that stat about they're killed more, then let's make sure and let's focus on percentages all the time if that's what we're doing. Per capita, because that's what the per capita is for when we're doing violent crime. It's a percentage per capita thing.
Right.
You know, so hell yeah, Devin. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I think this was good, man. I think it's super duper interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll keep minding it through, man, as we learn more, you know. Hey, Yogo Tree, what's popping with it to us? Is support. Salute, my G. Appreciate you wholeheartedly, man. Good to see you. Hey, L with it to us. A lot of missing information. Something is missing. Yeah, we need a video, AL. We need a video, bro, for sure, man. Another great support. This at 2:30. They got another 30 minutes out of me. And it's Thursday. I don't even stream on Thursday. Rainbow Kid, what up? With the $5 says might not be racist, but a lot of white people feel entitled. Austin was being a Karen. Leave people alone and you be all right most of the time. Yeah, I agree with that, right? And I think there's a component of it, but a lot of them just entitled, right? Just they own everything, right? Which has a racial, right, affect, I guess you would say, or it denotes racism, you know. I catch your drift. I was just saying on his face, like boys being boys, white, black, they could have had that run in, you know. Don Winkler with his announcement, Mr. Fantastic, my brother. You can't skip over history and say that's true. Hey, y'all, Smitty, what up, Smitty with the 10 ounces? What up, though, DJ Hand? What's popping, kid? Good to see you. Allow with the 10 ounces. Mr. Fantastic said one of the dumbest things I heard yet, saying we delete more white people than they do us. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I will see y'all tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. The reason I say that last super chat was funny was because if let's just say hypothetically what he said was true, white people are in all positions of power and authority to do something about it if that were the case by the numbers.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Y'all do me a favor. Hit the like button. Jump in the Discord. Let's continue the conversation. I will see y'all tomorrow. We're going to rock out. We're going to recap the week. And I think that doing a decent job looking at this information. Hopefully we get something new. We get a video. We get something. You know what I'm saying? And then we can push forward from there. But one thing I want to assess tomorrow as we review the week is tribalism. When does the culture matter? Do we only band together when we dying? And is that adding to the bigger issue? If me and you only hold hands when somebody dies, if I only see my family at funerals, what positivity can we perpetuate in our communities? How tribal are we? How do we actually fit and stick together? So let's work through it. DC Slim it does. Don't be stupid, people. With smartphones, be easy. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.